Hello, everyone. Welcome to Poor Choices. This is supposed to be that time of the month, but we'll see if it actually ends up being that time of the month. We might be skipping this week. Today we're supposed to have Andrew. He's not here yet, but that's okay. I assume it's a time change, and he might just be asleep right now.
Yeah. Do they celebrate 4th of July in wherever he's at now? I can't even tell. I can't even
American, so
because if they do, he may have partied too hard,
I mean, it's the 5th today. They're in the future, aren't they?
I have
No,
no
they're in the
idea.
6th already.
Oh, well,
July
then he
6th.
really partied too hard.
If he's still hungover, that boy partied too hard for sure.
You know what's crazy is Duke and I went to the Grand Canyon this weekend. I took him there for his birthday,
Mhm.
and we were driving there, and it's Arizona and Utah. And so Arizona does not recognize state like daylight savings time, but Utah does. But then the Navajo reservation that you drive through also recognizes daylight savings time. So literally, you'll be driving and it'll be 6 o'clock, and then you hit a certain spot and it changes to like Navajo land, and it'll be 7 o'clock. It was
Oh, well,
wild.
that's
I
odd.
took a screenshot. Like my car said it was 6 p.m., but my phone said it was 7 p.m. But then we were supposed to arrive at our destination at like 8 o'clock. It was wild.
Well, there's a lot of time changes I didn't see happening.
It was crazy. Like, am I in the
Mhm.
future? Am I in the past? It was both at the same time.
You're in 3 different time zones at once. That's what it is.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
But cheers. I'm Extra Girl. This is Tugs, and we'll see if our guest comes. Let's say hi to
you
the
just
chat.
and said be right there.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's like
Sleazy, I don't know if your joke got yeeted. Maybe?
what joke?
I don't
see a
know.
joke,
I
so
don't
maybe
know.
we did not eat.
I didn't do anything.
We did not eat.
I didn't do anything. Hi. I hate your restaurant. Huh? We don't
That's
have a
because we don't
restaurant.
have any food. We're a bar.
Just
So
wine. We
yeah.
have just wine.
Maybe some charcutes. But
Ooh, I'd be down for some charcuterie, some cheese, some meat. Yum, 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 yum.
Extra Girl and I love a good meat.
Oh, we love good meat. The fatter, the better. Anyways, I'm done. My teeth are red. No, they're not. Are they? My gums. That's why I was doing this earlier. I'm like, I don't think I see it.
I went to the dentist this morning and had my teeth cleaned, so they are
As
sparkly.
clean as they can be. Maybe from the wine. They're a little red. Hi, Sarah.
I've been there when you have like a really nice Malbec or like a Pinot that's super dark and your teeth are like
Just need a good
not
brushing.
having it.
Just need a good brushing. Plus, my room is pink, so that probably doesn't help either. It dyes my teeth a color, anyways. But we got a new member here, Sleazy. Thank you for becoming a member on the Lush level, Sleazy. Cheers. Nomi, any girl loves good meat. That is very true. And Sleazy has gifted 5 Poor Choices memberships. It's promoting our alcoholism and love of meat.
I feel like I should have brought my bottle of wine up here. This is not wine. This is a probiotic soda with vodka.
That sounds so healthy and unhealthy all at the same time.
I know, isn't it great? It's the best.
Thank you, Sleazy.
It's been 5 minutes and you guys have got off the rails. Yeah, hi front porch.
Yeah. Well, we're just Andrew says he's going to be here, so we're just filling up the time for the moment. Ken for Canadian $2 says X-ray and Tugs. Hello, pretty ladies. Hello, Ken. Thank you. Looking like a young 30, 40-year-old. He told me his age today.
Oh.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat was putting their age just to see where we all kind of stood. So it was kind of fun. It kills the good bacteria. Alcohol, really? Ooh.
All of it. The probiotics or the prebiotic soda and the alcohol. Like we're just all kinds of bacteria are being killed.
Yeah. I've been streaming a bunch today. It was fun. It was really fun. John Edgar, member for 5 months on the Lush level, says, hello, ladies. You look great this evening. Thank you. I tried hard for Tugs, obviously. She's so pretty. She doesn't have to try, and she's just pretty, okay?
Listen, I'm I don't know how I don't look dead. I was just telling X-Ray Girl, like, our neighbors did not stop fireworks. Like, the whole city pretty much didn't stop fireworks till about 1 something in the morning. I had to be up at 4. Poor Duke had to be up at like 2:15 for work because he works at 3 a.m. We're dead. He's dead on the bed over there. I'm pretty sure he's
poor kid.
We're so tired.
Poor thing. I guess in the meantime, we have a bunch of things that you did send.
Hi, Natasha.
Wow, he's late and gay. Absolutely true.
Good.
So let's see. What things
hi,
can we
Phil.
look at here? There's a bunch of tweets.
There's drama in the manosphere. I don't know if Andrew's going to want to talk about this probably, but he'll watch him come in like right as we're getting ready to talk about this. But
Okay.
Pearl has started some shit.
Yes. Okay. So we'll start with this then. So the original tweet by Pearl was, you'll look better in your early 20s than your 30s. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
She said they're ugly. She said you are uglier in your 30s.
Okay, there we go. Very inflammatory words, to say the least. And I guess this girl, Bernadine, here on the left, put her 22-year-old photo and 32-year-old photo. All these doom or red pill females saying you get uglier in your 30s, must be funded by plastic surgery companies. Seriously, ladies, please stop listening to them. It's called taking care of your health, spiritual and otherwise at Pearly Things. Looking at this picture, I think she looks happy, healthy. Between the two pictures, I actually don't know if I'd be able to tell 100% which one would be the younger one.
The crazy thing is and this is, so I follow Bernadine. She is feminine. No, not feminine, not feminist, that's somebody else. But anywho, she has like a course, but she and her husband have been married for like 12 years. They got married as virgins. They've got like 3 kids together. So this is not only is she in her 30s, but she's 3 kids in. 3 or 4 kids in and a full-on marriage. I think she looks pretty dang good, personally.
Yeah. And the funny part is, we were talking about this earlier. I feel like Pearl wants to get into fights. Just like I want to get into a fight with this guy here.
How did I know you were going to show
What's
up
going
right
on?
as we... Hold on, I'm going to put you in the middle. There we go.
Hello.
Perfect. It's perfect. I show up exactly when I intend to, just like a wizard.
I figured you
It's
did.
You're just like a wizard. Hello, welcome. Here, I'll just put you full screen here. Andrew from Legal Mindset.
Yes.
Also from Go East Gentlemen. Welcome.
Good to see y'all.
I'm sorry, is it super early where you are right now?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Oh, that's not
super early.
You're fine.
That's super early. It's not super early when you actually go to bed on time.
Oh yeah.
Oh
We were
my
talking about that
God.
earlier.
I was gonna say I'm in bed at like 10, 11 if I can try.
Okay,
we're up at like 2. He's up at 2. I'm up at 4 for work. So like we're in bed. We're old. We're in bed like 9, maybe 10 at the latest. Or we're feeling wild.
It's crazy wild nights. No, I don't think I've been in bed before like 2 a.m. Yeah, actually before 2 a.m. last couple nights. So.
Well, see, I told you 4th of July. I told you.
Were you partying, celebrating America's birthday?
Yeah.
Yes,
No?
but I celebrate freedom every single day.
Oh! I love it. Well, welcome back, sir. It's nice to see you again.
All my 9 to 5 people in the chat.
I
right
know.
now
They're
are
like, I have zero empathy for you. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Life of a YouTuber, I guess.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. No, but the thing is, when you're the person who tells you when your hours are, it becomes a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel the same.
Yeah.
So, although
Okay.
Gary does tell me to be there for the nooners. No, to be fair, they're at 1 o'clock, so. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Survivable.
So, we were talking about red pill stuff, of course. Lovely.
Yes.
Have you seen the Pearl drama?
So all of your 35-year-olds that look better than 25-year-olds, or are we on that yet?
Oh yeah, we're talking about that.
Okay.
So I guess
I fell down the rabbit hole.
Do you have the original tweet, Tugs? If not, I can find it.
Yes, I do.
Because I picked up on it. I picked up on it when she was getting clapped back. It wasn't the original tweet, but it was the one. I think Sarah Gonzalez was one of the first to respond to it.
Yes,
saying,
one of the first to reply to her.
I look better than, and of course it's kind of funny because it's like, I agree with Sarah. Like Sarah definitely looks better than Pearl, but that wasn't the question, right? Mm-hmm. But then Sarah responded and was like, "Oh no, I really do look better than my 25-year-old self because I was fat and now I'm not."
No.
Oh, here, I found it.
Did you find it? I'm like, I know. I sent so many DMs to our Poor Choices DM. I think my favorite one that she replied to somebody, it was like, LOL, 90% of your eggs are still gone.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not the original one. Hold on.
You're less
keep
attractive.
going, keep going, keep going.
Wait, this is not the original one? Yes,
I
you're
thought
less
this was
attractive.
the original one.
No, this is the
there was
original
one where
one.
she calls like
I'm looking at the
ugly.
views on
She
it.
flat out says they're ugly. This is keep going.
Elijah. Of course, Melanie hits in here. Don't care for. She looks great. Okay, I will say Melanie. She's a vampire.
Yeah, and there are folks, and there are exceptions to the rule. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, there are people who I know people who get a divorce and they look better than they ever looked before. But
well, maybe it is the original one. I thought there was two. I could be wrong. All right, keep going. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, what are your feelings about that? Thoughts, ideas?
It's one of those red pill messages, but like Pearl's like the worst possible messenger, right?
Well,
she does it on purpose.
Too. She's too She's too, what's the word for it?
Because if what she's trying to say is this, right? This is what she's trying to say, is that like when you're 25, you're thinking you have unlimited options, unlimited time, and then you pass your time, you do a bunch of drugs, you start drinking, and like honestly, most people look like shit after they've been drinking and doing drugs and having, reckless lifestyle for 10 years. So you fast forward to 35 and you're hashtag where are all the good men gone, where are my options? All these guys were rolling in, hitting me up when I'm 25. Now I'm 35. Now I don't look the same. I'm not going to, as myself, right? Because I've now aged. And the same thing can be said, look, 35, 45, 55, right? Like obviously these are things that are going to change, particularly for a woman, particularly with guys whose primary interest is a physical trait. That's what will key us in right away, right?
Yeah.
And it's a hard no, if it doesn't hit a certain bar, we're just like, no, So, it's a big deal, right? It's very important. And people aren't telling that to women. They're just saying, oh yeah, spend as much time as you want and it doesn't matter. And all this and that. But the way Pearl did it was not great. And also Pearl's like a solid 3 on a good day, right? So like, so like that was what. So of course people are gonna kill her there. Of course people are gonna blow her up.
And that was the thing. Like, and I was like all these quote tweets. People, women and men alike, were like, "Girl,
they're digging in on her for sure."
You look 40 and you're 26. Like, please sit down.
Well, I said this last, I think Simcast. I said that she has been taking Brittany Venti's advice. I think she's dressing a little better.
Pearl.
Yeah.
Did you see Brittany Venti's video, Andrew?
Yes, I did see. I did see Brittany's Venti's video. It's been a while, but actually, I saw her initial criticisms. I mean, to me, I think I said this on my stream. I'll say it. I can say it again. I mean, Brittany Venti may have not been the right messenger to come at her, but I got what she was trying to say.
You understand?
Yeah.
And certainly we can talk a lot about Pearl because Pearl's like a kind of got all those hypocritical things. It's like she's not that good looking. Her body count is very high when she talks about virginity, right? So, and she's actually really awkward in her interaction with guys, right? If you ever see
absolutely.
She's awkward as hell. So she's pretty much the worst messenger possible.
Yeah. And it came out so harsh. I think one of my favorites was Bernadine posted her 30, this is what I looked like then and this is what I look like now. Oops, wrong button. And, and I saw this guy and I was like, I mean, he's not wrong. I sent this tweet in the DMs too, but let me zoom in so we can see it a little bit. It's his username is the Dutch Jaguar and it says, Kevin Samuels left married women alone. You attack a woman with an 11-year-long ongoing marriage and 5 children. Oh, she has 5 kids and she looks that good. As a 26-year-old overweight leftover woman who claims to be Christian, yet doesn't date like one, she wins, you lose. All the quote tweets I saw were just like this. I mean, and he's not wrong. Kevin Samuels did leave the married women alone. Like, he didn't really go after them unless they were being completely dum-dums, which happens.
Well, yeah, unless they came at him, right? Like, they would have to come at him, and then he would kind of clap back, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what? You must really not like your husband, right? If you're sitting here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's no one safe from Pearl's criticisms, including herself. Because whenever she like disses women, she's kind of dissing herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm
and
sure she
when
realizes that, you know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
To me, honestly, and you guys tell me, Pearl always comes off to me, and the people said it in my chat, and I know people say it in yours. Pearl's just like copying what all the Red Pill guys says and just repeating it, right? So she's taking what Rolo said, what is said on Fresh and Fit, what's said everywhere else, and just repeating it, right? She's just repeating all those messages again, and it's more popular because she's a woman, right? So it's like now you have one woman that's saying women shouldn't vote, right? Of course it's going to go viral.
Oh,
right?
of course. Yeah.
Of course it's going to go viral. The second that she says that, and she was just on Piers Morgan, right? Now, I did not get a chance to watch that interview. I'm sure she got possibly destroyed because she's actually not.
Oh, I have a clip.
I haven't seen the whole thing, but I did send a clip.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
I only saw this one part, but I kind of felt bad, but I like just a little bad.
No, because you understand how much popularity she's getting off of this. I feel zero.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like, is she doing it? Is she saying the way she's saying it because it's like a good troll? It gets the traction. Yes. She's doing it on purpose. I kind of think yes, but anyway.
Regardless, she's grifting real good right now.
Yeah.
For now, we'll see. I'll give props to her for that.
Hate the game.
I want divorce to be banned. Yeah. Can I finish first? So I'm saying, you know, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health till death do us part.
But doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin? So you wouldn't be able to get married.
What do you?
You about how
I about died when she said that. I was like, oh. Anyways, let's just see what she says. I'll back it up a tiny bit.
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity of marriage, I just think that you're upholding standards that you don't actually.
And that's a fair complaint. I wish I was. But, you know, we can't go back. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, but I just don't think it's fair that you get to be here and you get to be paid for your views, and you're telling other women that they shouldn't be allowed to.
It does come off as hypocritical.
You gotta be ready for that one. You gotta be ready for that one. If you're doing the virgin thing and you're going back at that, you know, which by the way, I don't think that's like a critical element, right, of the Red Pill. I think that's one of the more ridiculous things I think that people try to put out there. And I had this conversation with my good friend Ben the other day on our new podcast, Bangkok Bros.
Yeah. I need to watch
hope you guys like that one. That's us live in studio in Bangkok. We're gonna have more guests. We're gonna have a lot of fun stuff coming on. You know, we're messing, switching up the format. But we're talking about this, and you know, it's just kind of this advice for guys to find a virgin. It just seems like it's horrible advice. I mean, to me, I get the point of, hey, look, no guy wants to be with a girl that's been with, 1,000 dudes, right? Or like, been doing OnlyFans or whatever else, right? But there's plenty of regular girls that have been with, a couple of guys in America and that are still pretty just fine, right? This whole obsession with, okay, we gotta find somebody who's a virgin, right? Like a Pokemon, like it's a Mewtwo, right? And we gotta throw our master ball
out there, seriously.
And we gotta throw our master ball and catch it. It's like it's just not gonna work, And like who is that? That's like two people, they're like Amish girls. Come on.
And they wouldn't talk to probably most of the guys out there anyway. You wouldn't find them at bars, on dating apps. Anywhere like that. Where do you even find them?
In church, in like whatever their hobby is. If they're runners, you're gonna find them in a running group. You're gonna find them at church. You're gonna find them like, oh, I'm a hiker or I'm a photographer. I like taking photography. You're gonna find them in those spaces.
So let's say they're sincere Christians, right? And Tugs and I, we had a very great conversation about Christian dating, which is very difficult, right? As it is. So let's say they are sincerely religious, right? And they actually have that belief. Well, most of the guys that are out there going to talk to them, or the guys that want to look for that, are guys who are having a lot of sex. And so these girls are going to talk to them, and they're probably not Christian either. They're going to talk to them and be like, yeah, no, right?
Yeah.
You know, so like for example, me, right? I'll just put myself on the line here. Like I'm not a Christian currently. I was back in the day, but I'm not. You know, so if I went to go talk to these girls, they'd be like, "No, I'm not. I'm not getting with you."
Be like,
right?
nah.
They'd be like, "No, holy water on me." You know, I'd start burning. You know, recoiling in terror. You know, and it's like, okay, no, but that makes sense, because if they're waiting for somebody that is a virgin as well, or is very inexperienced, that's not going to be most dudes out there that are trying to live that lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
And like Nick here says, women want men with a future, men don't want women with a past. You are going to be so hard to find a woman that doesn't have some sort of past. It doesn't doesn't necessarily even have to deal with dating. They could have trauma from family, from friends, and stuff like that. So you have to figure out how to communicate with these people, whatever trauma they've endured, and how to navigate that when it comes up in their life.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if they're virgin or not. You're gonna have some sort of baggage, okay?
There's gonna be some issue, like especially in 2023. Like there's some stuff that's gone down. Like people are seeing some real stuff. Yeah, but of course, huge body count, right? And I think somebody mentioned that. Who mentioned it? Like, was it Duck Dangerously? Yeah, if you're a 19-year-old and you have a 100+ body count, of course that's bad, right? Like that's something you would avoid. Right, as a guy, like you just avoid the 100+ body count girl. There's plenty of girls that are very reasonable, that are very great. Some of my best girlfriends, a couple of guys, they had a couple long-term boyfriends. You know, that's fine. Yeah, there you go. See, it's like hold the one. You know, great options, great people. They end up getting married, having successful marriages. It's fine.
Yeah, it's hard, and that was part of the reason why like everybody was roasting her for especially going after Bernadine, because again, she's been with her husband. They were virgins when they got married together. They've been together for like 11 years. They've got I thought it was 3, but apparently it's 5 kids. She looks that good at 30, and she's with 5 kids. Kudos, girl.
I have like bags under my eyes. I probably have gotten like.
She's a great follow though. Go follow her. She's great. Bernadine.
It's very interesting watching. I guess Pearl is the lead woman in the Red Pill movement. Kind of navigate these. I would love to watch the whole interview. I'm trying to think if
there's another, like, what other women are in the Red Pill movement at all.
Not as inflammatory as her. There's others, but
I mean, like
a couple others.
There's a couple that like Bernadine is. You know, there's Allie who kind of walks the line. There's I would say Sarah, Lauren Chen, Brittany Martinez from Evie Magazine are all
they're more like hardcore. They're not necessarily like, I wouldn't call them like red pills so much as like maybe tradcon, or like they've like conservative women, or like they're like alternative, right? Because they each, if you ask them about the specifics of like the life they should live, what they should do to find a man, they'd all give you different answers. Right? The how.
But that's really it. Pearl's really the only one. Maybe but Allie really is more in the middle. She's not even really all that hardcore.
Sydney Watson.
No, and no, and yeah.
There's no one that's very like that far in the Red Pill movement. No. I'd say they're like more middle to the right, or whatever. Middle red.
You'll find people that are socially conservative that may disagree with feminism. Like, for example, like a lot of conservatives, we can all get together and say feminism is a problem. And so it's easy to point out the problems, and this is something I was talking about with Ben the other day. It's easy to point out the problems, and I think Pearl is putting out some of the problems. That's where she and all the other Red Pill channels are good, right? Pointing out the problems. But the solutions suck.
I was waiting for this.
The solutions fucking suck.
The solutions are the worst.
The solutions are as Pearl found herself in that video that we just watched.
Yes.
I can't go back.
Yeah.
Is that her answer? Like
that's
so
all
then
you
have
got?
to like lower what they call it. You know, women are like, well, you want me to lower my standards? So it's not lowering your standards, but it's just the reality of the situation. You know, because you're looking for that. It's a whole math problem now. And then I think another problem that I have noticed, and I'm sure DJ Direwolf's going to roast me in the chat, but I'm coming for you.
That's good. I like roasting.
I have noticed, and a couple of women kind of in this circle in general have kind of hinted toward it, but this whole movement as a whole, for some reason, has brought out the worst in men, in the sense that they think that they deserve this this unicorn when they're still on their
go.
couch in their mom's basement eating Cheetos. So it's kind of like a balance. You know what I mean? Like, we have to do better, but so do you.
I think as a society, we all have to improve. There's always room for improvement, though, in every case.
I mean, you guys are right. I mean, obviously, look, it's not 1-to-1, right? The situation is 1-to-1 because the situation for men is different than the situation for women because women and men have different considerations. Women have to consider getting pregnant, which is a much bigger risk than we have, right? But we also have to deal with the fact that, you know, the hard thing for us is that, frankly, an average guy in America isn't good enough. Now, I live abroad right now. I'm in Thailand, right? Average guy is plenty good over here in Asia, right?
Like, would you be considered an average dude, though?
No, aren't you in that top?
I'm not. No, I was fine in America, right? I was getting plenty of dates. I just thought, as soon as I moved, the quality of my dates went up. The girls I was dating, the quality went up. They were nicer. They were hotter. They were more pleasant to deal with. They had stable families. They had less mental issues, right? Like, they had fathers. And I know I say this a lot, but I really didn't genuinely mean this. It does make a big difference. And the extended family, right? They actually care about their family, and they go visit, girls. I saw a girl here the other day. She's like, oh yeah, I would meet with you the other day, but I got to go see my family and I got to go to temple, which is their thing over here. They got to do these things, but it's like, you think about it, you're like, no girl's doing that, like putting off dates or hanging out to go see your family. It's very, very rare. Saying, no, sorry, I got to go see my family.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, but yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that, like, any guy who's out there thinking they're some secret king and they're sitting on their couch and they got the dust and, like, the comic book guy from The Simpsons, if you guys remember that.
Oh one. Yeah.
Yes.
Remember the comic book guy from The Simpsons? Like, you think you're the shit, but you're really just kind of a fucking loser. Yeah, you do have to get your shit together.
Duck Dangerously here. Men need to lower their standards. What women are told to never settle. I think that is something that hopefully gets changed, because I think it's the same with men. You should never settle, but also the settling things that women look for are very we'll call it physical. Women should actually be looking for more emotional traits in men. Things that are not just funny, rich, tall, all this. That's all
6 inches.
Yes, the 666. Like, stop it.
Come on, I gotta bring it up. I mean, but that's another thing too. It's like it. I will say this, and I'll say this very clear. Sexual performance. That's kind of like, I think, become something that's more of a Western thing, actually. This, like, complete focus on, like, the guy's got to be rich, he's got to be fit, and he's got to be a porn star, right? Because they're thinking about all these experiences they've had. They've dated a rich guy, right?
Yeah.
They've dated a guy who's really fit, who's like an athlete or something. And they've dated a guy who's banging the hell out of them, right? So they want all those things in one guy, and it's just impossible. Like, the average guy isn't going to be that,
No.
He's going to maybe one of them, but not all.
The unicorn that we all are trying to find.
Well, and he's probably not going to want to settle down either.
Right, yeah, why would he settle down? If that guy is all those things, why in the world? My buddy was saying, well, if I was a girl, I'd just look for Elon Musk. And I'm like, you just proved your point. There's one Elon Musk, and everybody wants to be with Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. There's only one of these guys.
Yeah.
But even then, at the same time, Elon checks off a bunch of boxes. But let's be real here. With Elon, you have to be careful too.
Sorry.
No, science. No, but if you're planning on being one of his little baby mamas, he has Asperger's. That is genetic. It's not easy. He's high functioning and is fine, but that doesn't guarantee that your kid is. So then now you have to calculate as a woman. Yeah, he checks off all these boxes. He's funny. He's smart. He's rich. He's blah, blah, blah. But your caveat is my baby may not be as high functioning as he is. And that is a for life literal commitment with a handicap like that. It is, just to be bluntly honest.
And on top of
that,
that's
a risk, right? So there's something.
This is a guy who works probably 17 hours in a day, has multiple businesses,
never home.
multiple kids. So these are the things that you have to think about. This is what I saw when I was dating. I dated someone who was wealthy. Guess what? How often we went on dates? not very often.
Yeah, if you want a wealthy guy, they're going to be working hard, right? That's why they're wealthy. They're probably working a lot. So you have to take that benefit, the burden. Okay, you're going to get stuff, you're going to do fancy stuff, but you're not going to have time. Right. I had this issue when I was a lawyer in a law firm, and I was really constricted on my schedule. I'd have girls wanting to text all day, and I'm like, baby doll, what do you think I'm doing? Like, if I was but they're used to the broke guy that can text all day, right? And they're like, well, this other guy didn't no problem texting me. Yeah, because he has broke, and he's doing nothing, and he's sitting on his couch smoking pot. Yeah, he can message you all day. Yeah, he can come over at 12 or 1 p.m. or whatever, because doesn't have a fucking job, right? But this expectation is there, right? And by the way, I like what D-Day Direwolf said. That's on the female side. On the guy side, saying the expectations of sexual performance, right? That one
there
right
it is.
there, right? That's one I'll put on guys too. You got to be realistic, right? If you wanted a virgin, well then she's probably not a porn star, right? Yeah. And if you want a porn star, she's not a virgin.
You're not getting the Gluck Gluck 9000.
Yeah. And the sad part is we wouldn't know the difference if one, in an ideal world, if one, we all waited until marriage, but two, if porn wasn't so prominent in everyday life, OnlyFans,
you're right,
Pornhub,
even
movies,
on Twitter.
No,
Instagram.
it's legal. It's Twitter. It's legal. It's just out there, right? And it's funny if you see if you look at any reply of anything popular, if it's ever got like 1 million views or whatever else, there'll always be a porn bot or some OnlyFans girl that's in the replies with like pretty much your straight up porn.
And God, like Twitch and freaking Kick does, and YouTube has like naughty yoga. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Ban Pornhub.
On God, amen. I agree. It's all gotten bad, and then lately, and it's all spiraling, right? So like, if you go back and you read, men like to make fun of the women for reading like romance novels and stuff, but if you go back and read those, they're very respectful. Like if you go and actually sit down and read one, right? They're
like a
those
novel?
scenes.
A what? Sorry?
Like an erotica, the erotica
novel.
Yeah. But see, if you go and you sit down and you read one, the Bridgerton novels, what is her name? McDonald writes the Scottish ones, Outlander, all of those stuff, they're respectful, right? It's not this craziness. There's no whips and chains and all that stuff involved. And then once porn became super prominent, it got more like, if you take
50
the
Shades.
books and compare them to 50 Shades, like it's gotten more and more. I get ads on Instagram for like, oh, he's kidnapped you and chained you to the wall. But I'm like, oh my God, no, stop.
Well,
why?
it's escalated. It's escalated.
It's escalating.
I mean, like,
yeah, it's bad.
but that's the fantasy now, right? Is the super dumb? It's the 365. I think I told you guys about this movie before, but like the Twilight, Christian Grey, and then 365 DNI of the it's the guy who's rich, powerful, aggressive, socially dominant, but he's a simp for you, right? Like, but he's obsessed with you, the average girl, right?
Yeah, which is not real life.
That's not real life, of course. But of course it's psychological, because that's how women conceptualize the world versus men who are very physical. So obviously for us, it's just straight up pornography, like watching that. For women, obviously there's a story, right? And there's something behind that.
Yeah, it's just escalated. It's just so much violence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so true.
Did ruin dating. There are so many women that are like, I need my own Christian Grey. I'm like, why?
It's the same.
That's
it's
unhealthy.
The same. 50 Shades and Pornhub, both they ruined. It's like both of us got ruined by those, And perhaps they're a product of us going our separate ways, right? Perhaps as the gender split, we look deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole of these alternatives to actually meeting each other, actually interacting with each other.
And
now,
the internet has been our alternative entertainment.
Yeah. And you just go to the internet. I mean, you can go to the internet for porn. You can go to the internet for, hell, you can chat with a bot. That can be your waifu. That can be your girlfriend, right?
You can get dolls and have that be your waifu and get married to them.
Well, and then put them on whatever and then sell them. Like it's.
Oh my. Okay.
He talks about that, Brian and his ad. I saw Chase was
Brian and his ad. Did they repair their relationship? I haven't watched it.
I don't know. He's apparently single, so I mean, who knows?
Okay, all right.
I saw Chase was back on the podcast. I think that was new.
So they must have they must have mended the
I
fence.
guess,
there,
yeah. Some girl was talking about how she would. No, this is a whole different topic, but the last podcast, it had to have just come out. Some girl was talking about how she would rather have her husband fight 5 burglars in her house with their fists instead of using a gun or another weapon to defend her home. But she wants a super masculine man, and I was like, what? It was bad. But yeah,
but that's those are the beautiful moments. That's where those podcasts kind of shine, and just like exposing like the complete just female brain of like, I want it this way, but also this way, and it's like,
you
do have to choose.
You realize 5 guys versus 1 means your husband dies, right? Like, where are you not comprehending this?
Yeah. And that's the weird thing, is that we have such high expectations on men, and then women get to be complacent. The type that we talk to, I say we as in general, but like they talk to in these podcasts, these panels, they don't, I feel like these women haven't lived enough, because most of them are either OnlyFans models or
whatever girls are generally your college age, I would say. So they're very young, they don't know yet, they don't have a lot of life experience, and frankly
I feel bad. They're getting
well, you feel bad, but they're also at the point where they're living. They're at the point of maybe not peak wisdom, but definitely peak sexuality, and it kind of is showing that during this period of generally, right, and this is where Pearl is correct, even if she had said it wrong, right? Generally, for most, but not all women, they are at their peak sexual attractiveness. This is how they think, right? And this is how they're conducting themselves. They conduct themselves by being on OnlyFans, by engaging in, just hooking up with everybody else, right? And really not knowing what's in their long-term best interest. They don't know yet, right? Which most people don't in their early 20s, to be fair.
Yep.
And I think it's so hard because there is, as you said, there's no solution. I think that it's interesting to see there are some girls that come on multiple times, and since they've been shown some of their, we'll call them delusions, they actually have improved communication, their expectations. So I think there are benefits to this. I don't like the way Pearl does it. The Whatever podcast does a little bit better, but we don't have something more. I like to be more middle ground. That does help teach people.
But middle ground, and we've talked about this, middle ground is unclippable. And if you look at what actually makes these things go viral, it's the clips.
The clips,
right?
Obviously.
Our reasonable conversation here, it's cool. We all agree with each other, but it's not that clippable.
Boring.
Yelling and screaming and laughing, and X-ray girls not crying.
Legal mindset! How dare you!
You bigot, misogynist, horrible person. And I'm like here, like, I'm here like thinking, I'm like, oh, you guys posted, like, I saw Mark post or was it you post the wedding photos today? It was like super cute, So I'm like here, like, yeah, you go girls, instead of wanting to fight, it's just not my instinct to beat
I generally ignore. I try not to reply. That's why, like, it's very interesting seeing someone who is a bit more, let's say, active on Twitter, confrontational. Whereas, like, even Mark is like, Mark, there's no point fighting with like a guy who has like 20 followers. That's fine. Like, leave
no, I ignore them. I literally ignore them.
Yeah. Our bots, gotta love them.
Yeah.
They're like nameless people. I hate it. And it happens all the time.
Or they're one of your haters that's just created a 33rd, Twitter account just to troll you,
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Piers Morgan. So I assume that the Piers Morgan, so the Pearl interview, obviously that did not go that well for her. Right?
At least in that clip. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but that clip I was like, ooh.
I know Pearl did a reaction to it.
She did a reaction to it.
I mean, I'm sure it's not going to end her, right? Because she's obviously got fans, and these people have a good fan base, so they'll definitely, like, she'll definitely still be around. And I did hear she's now rebranding herself. Someone said she's moving to be called Pearl. She's going to be called Pearl Daily instead of Pearl.
Oh, she's got like 3 or 4 channels too. There's just Pearly Things. There's Pearl Clips. There's Pearl Daily. She's got like 4 of them, I think.
Right. Well, and I cannot judge. I have 4 channels now, so I literally cannot judge. But like, you know what I'm saying? But like, we do that. We do that when we get, a collaboration. One about this. One about that. One about this. But that being said, I do think there is a point at which there's kind of going to be peak Pearl, and then it's going to kind of move past Pearl, and I think we're kind of probably there right now. I think she's kind of hitting the upper limits of whoever's going to follow.
Well, if you watch her even lives, they're not as popular as they used to be, right? She has the Wifey School channel, which I think could be useful. I actually do think it can be useful depending on what is on there.
I do think some people need that, and if their teachers are not Pearl, then it could be useful, right? If she's just a facilitator, right? Then okay, yeah, sure.
But no, she is moving to the States. She has a couple of videos
back home.
But it'll be interesting because I think that it can be dangerous because even the Whatever podcast has some issues with guests and whatnot. So
well, there's a lot of, especially in the West, like there's legal issues here, and then people flipping out, and then getting into fights, and then what they can accuse you of doing or not doing. I think Pearl has the advantage of that it's going to be hard to Me Too her, right? So it's going to be hard for somebody to make the accusation. This girl did X. If any guys running it, they've got to be very, very careful about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, because that's instantly something that they're going to accuse you of.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I mean, obviously, look, if it's about being a wife, Pearl is entirely unqualified to speak to that.
I think she needs to be a wife first, learn how to compromise. And I think that the worst part is she's a boss. Sorry to say, she's a boss babe. Everything she tells women not to be. She's
spoiled. I mean, she's from an extremely wealthy background. The running joke is that she owns a plantation, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
She is like that wealthy level. Also she has a very specific sexual taste, so we'll just put that out there too. She's got a lot of things going on.
We're gonna leave that one alone, but you guys can Google it.
Yeah, you guys can just It
involves a catfish, but it's fine. This is what makes me sad about this, though, and I think I don't know that I've seen men respond this way, but I don't know who this person is, but this guy talks about how women coddle each other, and Pearl points out men prefer this, and you all lose your minds, blah, 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 blah. This person, it made me sad reading this. It says, watching her channel was how I learned it was time to throw in the towel on dating. I'm old. I've had a failed marriage. I'm realistically a 3 out of 10 for women in my age group. I had my chance. I wasted it. And it's time to spend my days helping the people in my community succeed. Like, that makes me so sad. Yeah. So I feel like whether you can objectively say she's right or wrong or whatever, but this is where that area comes in, to where all these, on the crazy side with Rollo trolling everybody about the vasectomy thing, and then now this on this end, it's like, where is this going to end up? Like, is this going to be something where we get so awake that we just stop dating because we've reached a certain age? Like, if I had that mindset, I wouldn't have this Yahoo over here
sleeping on your bed.
Well, you're not a 3 out of 10, Tug, so I'll give you that. Okay? I'm gonna sip for you real quick. Hold on, let me put on my sipping crown here.
We got a clip.
Yeah, there you go. Sipping hard. Nina, what's up? Speaking of people who are not a 3 out of 10 either, Nina, how's it going?
I simp for Nina.
She's amazing.
For Nina.
I can't wait to hang out with her next time I'm in Mexico. But
you're going to Mexico?
Whenever I'm back, I'm gonna probably make it on my way back. Connect through.
He's gonna hit all the major cities.
Mexico's the only country that connects with Asia. There's flights that go to Asia.
Oh, seriously? Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
All the other Latin American countries don't. So, for example, you can't go from Colombia to Asia. It's not possible. Mexico City to Asia, you can. So, simple alert. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Will you? Okay, so have you met Nina before?
No, we've streamed together.
Okay.
Not in person, though.
When I met her in person, just like Tugs, the first time we met, we saw each other from across the lobby of my hotel, and I literally ran to her. I'm like,
I'll do it.
God, do the same thing. I love it. I love it.
You know how us girls do. We get so excited.
And we're
get extra about it, but that's why we love you. That's the girly stuff we love. That's the type of stuff you love to see. You're like, okay, this is cute. This is the kawaii moment that we all live for.
I do feel bad about women, especially like if you get into like the 40s, the 50s, even the 60s, you can still date. I think that what she's talking about mostly, Pearl, is about people who are trying to have babies or families and stuff like that. So it does, you have to be a bit more definite with what you're saying or specific, because stuff like that, it's annoying as heck, because not everyone falls in your. I'm not talking about the exceptions. I'm just talking about just different groups of people.
Well, I'll say this, is that for some women, I'm sure it feels that way because of the type of guy they want. And it is very difficult for them to be told, you will not get, and this is where I'm on the Pearl Red Pill side. They need to hear the truth, right?
Yeah.
And if they want a guy who's the 6 foot tall guy with the 12-inch, 12-incher, and he's got a 7-figure salary.
Big. Oh my God.
The point is, if they want this perfect guy, right, that they have all these criteria, and when they are told, no, you cannot get that guy and that guy doesn't want you, it feels like their life is over and it feels like they shouldn't date anymore at all. But they need to hear it. And what they need, that poor woman needs to hear is, look, that guy is not for you. He's not going to date you. But there's a guy who will date you, right? If you think you're a 3, and let's say you are a 3, right? Well, there's a 3 dude, right? And you can go date the 3 dude. Go find the 3,
If you were to tell me I would date a 3 out of 10.
Everybody's flipping out about 12 inches right now.
I know. Yeah, the cervix is not that big. That's not going in there.
Still my favorite TikTok of all time is that girl who's like, we don't know what we're talking about. This is 12 inches.
It's too big. What I was gonna say is, if you give me 2 guys, a 3 out of 1, even 1 out of 10, and he is a sweetheart, I can talk to easily, very good communication, and you give me a 10 out of 10.
Physical is a 1 out of 10, but like he's got a personality that's good.
The absolute gem. And you give me a 10 out of 10 who's trashy towards females or me? Hell no, am I dating the 10 out of 10? I'd rather date the 1 out of 10 who has a kinder heart. I don't know. And I think that we look too much at physical stuff versus what's inside, how we communicate and talk to
and once
people.
again, we have to be honest, from a male perspective, we have to say, okay, yes, obviously men are looking at physical as our primary characteristic, but we do need to look at other characteristics too. Those are important, particularly for people you're going to marry, right? It's like, yes, I'm not going to say as a man, another man should go out there and marry somebody they are not attracted to at all whatsoever. Because then you're going to be in a sexless marriage, then you're going to, unless you want to be in a sexless marriage, but whatever, right? That's, I think the physical component is important for any relationship. It's important for keeping that relationship together, for bonding, for that part of your relationship, but I think it's essential, right? So I'm not saying not, but I am saying yes. Obviously, look, if you're a 1 out of 10 dude, if you're the comic book store guy, you look like Jabba the Hutt, right? Like you're not getting Princess Leia, and I'm not talking about old Leia. I'm talking about young Leia, right? You're not doing the bikini model version. Maybe you'll get old Leia. Maybe you go with old Leia. Old space Karen Leia. You can do that. But not the young one. I know. Sorry, Karen.
We could talk the Star Wars EU all day. I'll tell you.
Oh, for sure. I had to explain Raylos today on Bangkok Bros. I explained Raylos to Ben, and he didn't understand. I'm like, so do you know what shipping is? And he just cocks his head and looks at me. He's like, what the? And I'm like, oh god, okay, hold on.
My best way to describe Raylos in general to people who aren't really familiar with the nerd terms is, I'm always like, you remember the frenzy that the moms went through when Twilight came out? Not the young girls. Okay, that's a different subject. But the moms specifically, they're like, yeah. And I said, okay, now take that, but put it in Star Wars and add 50 Shades of Grey bad boy thing to it. And they're like,
we have a serious question here, Andrew.
That's what I rank myself. What do you think? And looks or overall, that's.
Oh yeah, you need to specify.
And also where, because that's a big difference.
Where you are right now.
Okay,
he's Bangkok, like a 20.
I'm a 20. Yeah, literally, I'm a 20. Because I'm young. I'm 6'6". I'm in decent shape. Yeah, I'm a 20. And I'm not married, not cheating on my wife, not divorced, no kids.
And I don't know. I don't know if Thailand. I don't know if Thailand's the same, but a lot of Asian countries, you being a white guy. automatically shoots you.
Yeah, white guys hide, but frankly, especially in Thailand versus a little different than Japan and Korea, right? Don't really care about the race thing as much. I was out meeting with some folks. This guy zoomed to Thailand and Chocolate Man in Thailand. These guys have big YouTube channels. These guys, they have hot wives or hot girlfriends, whatever, you know. Like, these guys are meeting perfectly hot girls. They don't care about race or anything else like that. They just care if you're a good guy and you've got your shit together. You've got some money.
Amen.
You know,
Weird.
you're good to go.
Weird how that works.
You're good to go. But yeah, America, I would say, even in America, like, frankly, I never was fat. So, like, automatically, if you're not fat, that gets you to a 5. But then I'm also 6'6". So, like, at minimum, I'm getting to 7 territory.
An extra 2 points for height there, yeah.
2 in bed. I like that, 2 in bed, but he's red pill, so.
What does it matter if a woman is satisfied, lol?
Look at this base chat over here.
Oh my god. I feel like that's how they, like, express it. Absolutely.
What does Myron always say?
I will say this, though. This is actually not, it's like, we're laughing about it, but it's also, like, kind of not a joke that the sexual performance thing is one of the biggest things, like, going abroad, right? The expectations are, in America, the expectations are incredibly high, right?
Really?
For sexual performance. Oh, yeah, of course. Like, every single time, you know, the girls have to, I mean, pretty much, look, in the U.S. with you know, girlfriends or girls I was seeing, it's like, you pretty much got to get them to come every single time.
Is that because you think they know that we are all a bunch of sleuths?
Well, they know they can just go out there and get another dude, and they're like, all right, well, I'm just going to go get another dude who's going to do this, right? So if I'm not sexually satisfied to a certain point, or you're not fulfilling, let's say, my kink or whatever, right? Even if they're not that, let's say they like to be like choked or slapped, which is a very common one right there, right? If you're not doing that,
in the West, yeah.
In the West,
yeah,
they're like, I'm next, you know, like, thank you, next.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's like, you have to communicate that. You can't read someone's mind that they like that. That is so weird.
I'm just saying that's some field research, you know, field research.
You know what's funny? So I had a talk with Mark because he had dated someone who was into, like, the more kinkier stuff. And Mark doesn't know the line between, like, satisfying a woman with a slap, because he will slap them.
Right,
like,
versus
hard.
Like full on slapping them, and it's like, well, now you got a black eye. You know, now you got a broken jaw.
I want to choke. He's like, well, I'll probably end up choking her out. I'm like, oh god.
But once again, that's something like, for example, the choking stuff. Like, I have had 0 women ask me to do that here. 0.
Oh, thank God.
It was almost every girl. Like, especially younger women. It was like almost everyone was wanting the choking, slapping, like, extremely rough. Like, that's a huge difference. I don't know if we wanted to go there today, but just throwing that out there. It's like a fun fact, you know?
That is very interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
and I guess, like, okay, so when you're dating in Asia, the whole sexual satisfaction there, what is, like, the minimum you need then? Just in general.
Like, oftentimes it's fine if we just have, like, very normal sex. Like, it's like, missionary is just fine, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be anything special. It's just like, hey, and oftentimes it's like you're having a nice experience. You're having a romantic date, you know, you're going out. Like I said, it's more of the psychological stuff. It's like, you're out there going and having a nice date. You're having a good time together. You're having fun. And you have sex, but it doesn't have to be this, like, earth-shattering, break the bed sort of thing. And, you know, everyone walks away and it's good, you know?
Interesting. So it's just very very normal, very
normal,
easy,
like very normal,
simple.
like very like normal, like old school, like what I imagine it was in the 80s and 70s and 60s. You know, it just wasn't that way in America when, you know, I'm giving girls black eyes, you know, it's just not the same thing.
I was going to say somewhere, some girl in her 20s is cringing.
Once again, not everybody, right, Tugs? I'm saying not everybody. I'm just saying it's a statistically significant pattern. We'll put it that way.
That's not the kind of choke she's talking about.
Hello, Mark. Mark has appeared.
Hey, Mark, what's going on, Mark?
Because he told me the story and I, like, died.
He's like, now I'm up, you know.
Well, he doesn't know from, like,
over here.
The light that will satisfy sexually versus jujitsu, apparently.
Oh my God.
Your commenters are hilarious. Some of these guys.
So I have a question then. If we're going to
Getting worse.
say that like Asia is a bit more just like normal, very simple.
By the way, South America the same way. South America the same way.
Oh.
That's been my experience. Yeah.
So would it be because there's less pornography? What do you think it is?
I don't even want to know. It's probably like most things, it's probably multi-factors, right? But it's not sexy to say that, right? It's probably like, once again, the having a dad thing, like I think less girls wanting me to call them daddy, you know, or they call me daddy, whatever the fuck, call her daddy, call me whatever. You know, like that being less of a thing, you know, the choking and slapping me less of a thing. I think that has to do with something about parenting, about what's going on in the society, about probably pornography, you know, all of those things put together.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Porn. There's lots of porn. Don't get me wrong. But I also don't wonder who's the consumer, right? Is it the guys consuming it or the girls? I think it may be more on the male side. Right?
And I mean, like in Japan, it's all blurred out anyways, right? Or so I hear.
Well, you can get the official stuff is blurred out, right? But you can get the unofficial, right? So like there's a thing called the VPN, right? And everybody knows how to use that. So, but you understand like face, right? So the country will block it, right? But because that saves them face, but then they know everybody gets a VPN, they just go around it, and you know that's why Korea has banned porn. There's no porn in Korea, but yet it's one of the highest countries for downloaded porn. So it's like you can ban it, but you're not really banning it, right?
Okay. It's kind of like how certain countries, it's like drugs. Once you legalize it, it ends up being less used. Very interesting.
Yes.
You say no, people don't want it.
You all right, Tugs?
I just came in at a weird time. I was like,
you just came in at a weird time.
What's
I know
being
it
less used? What did I miss?
Oh, porn.
Oh,
in Asia.
Yes.
Korea, to be specific.
Well, porn in general, right? We're talking about porn when you ban it, right? Like, does it become more popular? In a lot of countries, like, it does become more popular. In fact, Mia Khalifa, right? She rose up because people in the Muslim world were all Googling Mia Khalifa because it's naughty, you know, and she's the only one who's doing it. She's not even really Muslim. She's from Lebanon, but, you know.
She wore the
semantics.
The hijab. And she was the only one to do that, which is super haram.
It's a little cringe. I'm not gonna lie.
But she knew what she was doing when she did it, and she knew that it was going to be big when she did it because no one else did it.
It's the clip moments.
Yeah, tattoos are illegal. I got a tattoo in Korea. So.
Ooh, what'd you get?
A tiger. I'm 86, so it was the tiger year in Asia. So I did that. It was a big year, and I wanted to get one in Korea. I like, you know, it was like a big part of my life and big segment of my life. So yeah, it's over here on the shoulder. Very good artist in Korea. Highly recommend it. By the way, it's not illegal for you to get it. It's the artist that can be in trouble, not you.
Oh, so there's an underground black market of tattoo artists.
They close the windows, like they like have the windows blacked out. They have security cameras and like locked doors. Like to get in, it's almost like you're getting into like an illegal gambling den. You know, but the funny thing is, in the front they'll say it's a tattoo shop. They'll be like Ink Studio or whatever tattoo studio, but it'll just be like really locked down.
That math ain't mathin'.
Interesting. Okay, market for tattoo, even though it's technically illegal. Got it.
Yeah. But great artists. But the artists are fantastic. Great detail, great line work, good stuff.
So we got a couple member messages here. Hokies member for 1 year says, both of you are always beautiful. Thank you. Brahma Bull member for 2 months says, Pearl is a 3. Howdy, Andrew. Oh, looking great, ladies. Thank you. Andrew's looking particularly good today.
Appreciate it.
It's all that America. It's all that celebrating America.
It's my loving America so much.
Oh my God.
I love freedom. Freedom is international.
Absolutely. Ginger Adventures for $2. Would a guy want to get with Pearl or a 35-year-old? I think it depends on what your tastes are.
Well, and honestly, Pearl has another thing against her. And you ladies are good because you're in relationships, but I will say most, not Nina either. Love Nina. But most content creators, that's a huge red flag, right?
Oh, is it?
For me, because the personality of most content creators is not family-minded, is not relationship-minded. it's
interesting.
career driven, which is the problem with dating a lawyer or a doctor or anybody else, is they're not putting the family first or the relationship first. They're putting their own clout and their own career first. That's
interesting.
She has a lot of masculine energy too. I mean, just the way, like her specifically,
which is why she's successful.
Yeah,
Catch 22, right? She wouldn't be successful without that. But I'm gonna get some water. She wouldn't be successful without
absolutely.
that. She wouldn't be successful without that. Yeah, sorry, it's over there. But like, she wouldn't be successful without it. But it's a red flag, right?
And I can agree with that. Go get your water. I like, if I were to watch your content, and this is the thing, if I were single, and I would be so, like, I've had conversations with single women in this space. It is so hard for them to date because people will watch your content and then they'll get an idea of who you are based on that. So if I were to be a man and watch Pearl's content, I don't think I'd want to date her because she's very aggressive. Confrontational.
And she has said that, and she's been called out.
I would never date Pearl.
No, and she's been called out on that before. I can't remember. I want to say it was Denalva, like one of her regulars. I can't remember who it was now, but and she was just like, "Well, I don't act like this with my man." And I'm like,
How do
you turn that off? How do you turn that off?
How do you turn that off? Like, what?
They don't. They can't. They cannot turn that off. And I've dated lawyers, and I've dated powerful corporate women and whatever. Not even dated, just at least casually, not casually. And they're oftentimes fun and like good to hook up with, and like oftentimes they're really good in bed, but they're horrible relationship people because they cannot turn it off. They don't have the ability to turn it off. I think maybe it's a men thing. I'm going to be sexist here, my misogynist Andrew moment. I think men are a little bit better at turning that off. Like, flipping the switch and saying, okay, I'm home now. Like, we're not doing this thing anymore. I'm another way. And I don't like to be, a lot of people who meet me in real life too, they're like, damn, Andrew, you're like so relaxed. And I'm like, yeah, because it's my personal time,
Oh, you're not relaxed usually?
Well, no, I get worked up. I got all this crazy stuff going on in the world, and I get worked up about it, But if people meet me in real life, I'm typically pretty chill because you got to have some balance, you got to switch it on.
Yeah.
And I think that it's funny because she does say that about girl bosses. If you're a girl boss at work, you're a girl boss at home. You have such high expectations.
Women, we can't really separate the two. For the most part, I think obviously there's exceptions, but as a general whole, we take a lot of our stuff home with us, and we just we're having a bad day at work or whatever, and we take it home with us, and we get all irritable. It's just how we're wired. We just can't let it go. Whereas literally, I've seen men go from work mode to home mode, and work mode or boy mode. You're with your boys, you act like a completely different person than when you're with your girl and your boys are there. Does that, what I mean?
You go from boys mode to not boys mode like that, right? Like that.
It's crazy. I wish I could.
And it's genuine. It's genuine. It's just the two different facades. It's the two different facades, and
it's just
part
the
of it
energy.
In our stoicism too, like we know we need to be a certain way in the house, and the man should be the rock of the house. She should be the stability of the house. So the woman feels free to be emotional and should feel free to be feminine, right? She can be feminine, and the guy is masculine, and that works together. I think that's perfect.
And it's very interesting now that she has the Pearl Wife School, and she doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't know how to clean.
Didn't she say like that's more for her? Like she's gonna attend it, like she's doing it for herself.
I think so.
They've had maids and stuff,
But it'll be interesting because if she can actually let go and be more feminine, because I mean, like even myself, I know how to cook and clean, but during the time that I was doing 2 jobs, it was really hard. So of course I had a cleaner and I had some help with like food and stuff with my parents. But now that I have more time, it's great because I get to do the stuff that I actually enjoy. Weird as it sounds. Plus it's great. I love my life. But it doesn't seem like she's, I don't know. We'll see if she actually loves doing the wife stuff.
We'll see. And most people, they're not cut out for it. They go to try to do it, and they
that's
just
okay.
can't do it.
That's okay.
That's okay too.
It's okay, but you have to work with what you got to work with that then.
You just have to be willing to admit it to yourself. Like you may have had this vision, and then something happens. Either you're older, or just you figure out later that you're like, you know what, I may love children, but I don't want to be a mom, or I'm not, or whatever. And it's just so you have to navigate around that. So it'll be interesting. But I have noticed that she's changed like her style, and
her hair is nicer.
Perked up a little.
Well, she's getting critiqued on her looks mostly, so it's like, all right, well,
she's lost
you do have
weight.
to get that shit together, yeah.
Well, as she should, because that's the thing is like she puts out, and it was very hypocritical of her to say all these things and not do them, you know, and especially trash women when she's doing the same thing.
So when BBB and he said right there, does Pearl really believe what she is pushing, or is she grifting? I think she is
both?
Mostly, yeah, I think she believes some of it, but she is mostly grifting. And Ice Cold Wolf, I think Ice Cold said earlier, like, I bet she's making a lot of money. No, she is objectively making a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
You can look at the public YouTube statistics, and those are just the tip of the iceberg. She's objectively making a lot of money, so credit where credit is due. She's good at making money. So she's good at that.
We have to accept that fact.
Yeah.
And
other than that, she can be complete, like, you know, loser in woman world, but she's
I
winning
honestly
money,
don't
right?
know. I don't know if she believes it or not. I feel like.
But here's the thing: money cannot make you a winner in you know, in woman world, right? The winner is the woman who gets married, has kids, or gets what she wants from a relationship.
Yeah,
you know? All the money in the world, and you can still be an unmarriageable harpy, right? You know, but you're rich. Congrats, you know.
Yeah. I think
the
it's hard.
irony. Honestly.
I think it's hard in her world because I feel like growing up wealthy, she probably had a lot of women and men that own businesses. So of course you're gonna kind of model your life after that. And she seems like she's really close with her family, and of course her dad's gonna help her if she has a business venture, and clearly it's paid off. So
I think it's better. I think it's better when they don't help you, though. I've met.
I think when you earn it yourself, you're so much happier.
Yes. When you do it yourself, you
absolutely
you have confidence. You have confidence too.
Nick
oh my God. First of all, Chelsea Handler is so miserable. If you can't see that, like, from girl to girl, that girl is miserable.
She's crazy.
She'll never admit it. She'll never admit it. She will be in denial until the day she... Actually, no, I take that back. She'll be in denial until she's on her deathbed talking to the nurse, because that's going to be the only one around her. Maybe some boyfriend. Maybe.
She
and
knows
she's gonna
in
be
her
like,
heart that she is.
Or her, like,
she
even
knows,
her
she
therapist just probably doesn't even know the full truth. Like, I feel like she's getting pumped up by so many people to just keep this type of content up, and it's really sad because I feel like the people who scream the loudest are actually the most sad.
Yep. She is.
Well,
you can see that video she did about God, what was that video we watched where she was talking about where she was in the tub when she was topless. You could see that she was so, I can't remember what the subject was now, but she was so she was forcing it. You could see it all over her face. I mean, the stuff that wasn't Botox, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Oh, the childless one. That was what it was. It was.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's like obviously you're
yes,
you're feeling it now, but when you're 80s.
Oh yeah. D-Day says, seen a lot of girl bosses regret their choices. Lots of money with no family to share it with. It's sad, and I think that's something that I even learned really early on. I'm okay making very average money. I'm also okay, like if I actually wanted to just be a mom only. I told Mark, I'm like, if we did do this, do you want to move to like a super teeny tiny small town where houses are super duper cheap so that we can live? Because that's the thing, you have to set your expectation.
Your practical Asian mindset there.
Yeah, because if I want to actually just spend time with my kids, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I
get like an acre, at least an acre of land.
And you trust Mark. You trust him to take care of you and provide for you and be there and be that guy, so you can be the mom and you can, do that, and you guys can cut back and you guys can do that. Like you have to trust each other to do that, and like that's important, right? These are the things that we don't talk about, like trust. Trust is something that's like hugely eliminated because we're taught to hate each other, and to despise each other, and that we're each bad people. So trust is a difficult thing to build.
Yeah. Texas is on the map. Trust me, this is a 4-year plan that we have, so we'll see. You
know what else weirdly has good land, which I never thought about before? We just got back from the Grand Canyon, right? That whole where the Grand Canyon meets like Arizona, Utah, that whole area, the land out there, I mean, it's desert, but the people had cows. Like it was good land, and there's still so much of it available. So that's, you know, if you're looking for something like that, like maybe, you know, yeah, there's Texas obviously, and like, you know, Tennessee and all that, but check out Arizona and Utah because the land out there is gorgeous.
So this is the Texas of Canada,
Calgary.
Yeah, Calgary. I was just laughing.
The houses are like 300,000 Canadian, mind you,
okay.
and our house is
cheap.
like double
Canada
that.
Just very overinflated housing market.
Oh, Toronto houses a 3-bedroom is like on average 1.2 mil.
Oh my god!
Oof.
And that's like a kind of fixer-upper.
That sounds like California.
Yeah,
like
Toronto is just slowly tracking behind New York. Like we're a couple years apart in our like housing market and rental market. So, no one wants to live there. Well, people want to live there. They can't afford it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would get, you know, like an acre, maybe 2 of land, and get some cow, like a cow and a chicken and a couple of chickens, some goats maybe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Andrew, where do you want to end up?
We'll see. I mean, I'm really, like I said, I'm an Asia guy, and I'm happy to be over here. And I think my ultimate thing where I will have one country I'm in for the majority of the time, another country that I spend a couple months in, and then I'll probably be back in the States for a month or 2 a year. I think that'd be my optimal kind of configuration. So I see everybody back there for a month or 2 in the good old USA, but don't stay for too long. Don't stay enough for that Chernobyl. You know, of issues to infect everybody.
The infection.
You know, and then every country has its cons, and I say this, you know, all the time. Every place has its cons, even within the U.S. Right? There's sometimes I'm from Florida, right? Great state, loved it. My grandparents had a house in North Carolina, and I always remember going up there every summer, and that was one of my favorite experiences as a child, right? Because it's hot as hell in Florida in the summer. So going up to North Carolina, I was out there in the mountains and the Appalachians. Beautiful to go up there. You see all Florida license plates there, but it was just a great idea to go out there and chill. So I put that idea in my head of, okay, I want to be somewhere, you know, for the other season, right? Maybe I'll be in Japan for a couple months, right? You know, I'll just go up to Japan for a couple months. You know, maybe I'll be down here in Southeast Asia, somewhere else, and then back over to the U.S. So I think for me, it's going to be like a 3-point solution. But it's a long-term plan. I'm thinking about 10 years down the line, right? You know, because I'm in my 30s, so I get everything set up by the time I'm 40s, 50s. I'm Gucci. So.
You actually just said Gucci. Oh my god. He's like the young kids right now.
That's slang right there, okay?
Glad you caught that one.
Oh my god. It just sounds so weird for some, like, okay, we'll just say our age group.
Our age group.
I haven't heard that in forever. I heard somebody the other day in person last week. I was at Walmart, and it was a girl probably about my age, maybe a little younger. So maybe more around extra girl's age. She flat out was like, that was all that in a bag of chips. Like in full
that's been
serious.
A while.
And I was like, where's my people? All that in a bag of chips. Go up your back and around the corner.
I definitely said that when I was younger.
I still say cray cray. I still say cray cray. It's like a polite way to say this bitch is crazy as hell. Like,
that's because
you're young. You're a young kid, okay?
All that. Look, here's the young people, or the old, super old people. What? There's no in between here. All that in a bag of chips.
Okay, wait. Gucci is not an old one. This is new. Within a year.
No.
No. I was using that one for 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's an old one.
Maybe? Okay, so I was too young to even realize
bringing it back.
Was it Paris Hilton? I want to say like around the Paris Hilton era.
She said that's hot a lot.
She said that's hot, but I think Gucci was developed around the Paris Hilton era.
She says it's so breathy. That's hot.
See, I don't have no idea. Brett Cooper says
Riz.
this.
Oh, I heard that, like rizzing you up. Do you know about that?
No. What does that mean?
So Riz means charisma. So they're like, I'm just rizzing you up, girl. Like it's a D&D game. Like I'm you doing my charisma roll. You know, like rolling charisma.
Oh my god! So this is nerd slang. I love it.
Well, but it's became Gen Z, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with Gen Z?
I've never heard that.
Riz
Brett
is
Cooper.
new.
Riz is new.
Riz is new. Brett Cooper says Riz all the time, and I'm like, what does that even mean? Is that like swag? Like swagger? What does it mean?
Yeah.
We're learning. You got like YouTubers learning slang. I love it.
Yeah.
She just saw the
Boom
slang.
tubers, you know.
This is amazing.
Get off my lawn. Yeah, I know that one too.
I feel like
I'm
that's
that weird in between. I'm that weird in between because
Yeah,
I was
I'm
87.
36, so
Yeah, I was 1987, so I'm like I get the Gen X side and I get the millennial side, but the whole Gen Z thing, I got nothing for you.
Yeah, I got knighted as an honorary Gen X. The problem is millennials, it is a huge generation, and like there's a big difference between older millennial and younger millennial.
Oh,
but,
I don't know, millennial.
Yeah, elder millennials are good. There was was it
That
Eliza
drip?
Schlesinger? She had the comedy special Elder Millennial. I don't normally like her,
Yes.
but that one was actually pretty good.
Yes.
Like her new stuff she got really feminist and weird, but the old
Yeah,
stuff.
but her old stuff was good.
Have
Riz
you
is the swag. Oh,
Drip,
okay.
yeah.
I got the drip.
I don't know
Sounds
what
gross,
drip means
actually,
either.
saying that.
Dripping what? Like,
I think
go
it's like
take a shower.
Not that type of drip.
no, Tugs. That I'm gonna Google this. I'm gonna
Mine
Google
out of the gutter, Tugs. Mine out of the
Go
gutter.
take a
Urban
shower. Stop dripping everywhere, you weirdos.
when something or
Wait,
someone
where'd it
is
go?
really cool or has so much swag to it. There we go.
That's what a drip
drip.
is? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stop trying to make fetch happen, Andrew.
I know. Still trying to make it happen. 40
Oh,
years
yeah,
later
the
after Mean
cap.
Girls.
Stop the cap. I don't understand
stop
that
the
one
cap.
either.
What's
That
that?
was
I mean,
been
I
around
get
for a
the
while,
meaning
though.
of it, but I don't know what it has to do with hats. Like, I don't.
4 to 5 years ago was that one. yeah.
I feel like our like demographic, and I say at least mine. I'm between like the 28 to 50-year-olds. That's like the people who watch my content. So we don't say things like this.
You know what?
With her-
All that in a bag of chips, and that's the end of that. Okay? Spice up your life.
Oh my god, that's like 90s.
So,
You know
so
what,
what
I'm
do you
gonna
girls
introduce-
think? Because I think I said it, but where do you girls think is gonna happen with Pearl? Like, what do you think is gonna? Where's she ultimately gonna end up? What's your verdict on that?
I think she's gonna end up single. I don't think anyone's gonna want to date her unless they end up being a gold digger. So,
Which I
that's
think she's
unfortunate.
highly susceptible to, actually, because I think she's really desperate for it. So I think she's highly susceptible, like the Tinder swindler. If you guys saw that.
Oh my
Netflix
God,
Oh
show.
yeah, that
watched
was an
that.
intense
The
documentary.
wealthy girls are highly susceptible to the guy who comes in there and just tells them what they want to hear.
Yep.
Absolutely, and I don't know if her BS radar is good or not. So it'll be interesting because I think as she gets older, she's gonna, as she says, gets more desperate, and her channel is based on women who get older are not able to date. So I feel like that she's literally putting pressure on herself without realizing, because she is
Yes.
at that hump. You know, she's getting that age. Like if she, dates a year, engagement at least 6 months. If we're going average timeline here.
And the pick me desperation will bleed through more and more and more.
Yeah.
On her channel.
I think that if she doesn't get like canceled, officially canceled, there's
she'll
two
be. By the
ways.
way, I'll say this though. I saw this. She will be one of the last ones to get canceled, and I'm just gonna say it
Because
because
she's
she's a
female.
woman. Yeah, she'll be one of the last people to be canceled.
Yeah. So if she does not get canceled, like officially canceled, you know how the internet does.
Right,
There's
they
two
booted
ways.
off of YouTube, right?
Yeah,
so that's
there's
one big
Yeah,
two
one.
literally
ways to go.
demonetized,
Demonetized.
channel gone, all that
Yeah.
type of stuff.
Yeah.
There's two
Debanked,
ways.
yeah.
I think you'll either decide, you know what, I'm done and I need to quit this because otherwise I'm going to lose my own self. Either that will happen or she'll just continue to do it for the rest of her life and become Chelsea Handler. I think there's no in between, to be honest.
You're right.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
I don't know. I feel bad. I still want to see her happy in the end. I think
too.
that I love. I
You're such
don't
a
care.
girl, you know.
I know, but like
It's
I don't
cute.
think
It's
people-
cute. I like
I
it. I
do,
like
though.
it.
Like even if I don't like her, I don't want bad ill will towards her. If someone actually swindles her, I'm gonna feel a little bad. I'm not gonna feel completely bad, but like it sucks.
It's highly likely to happen. Look, no one wants it to happen. We'd love to live in a world where only perfect outcomes happen. But I can say what's probable, and what's probable
Yes.
is that she's either single or gets swindled, right? Those are
Yep.
more probable than her being happily and living happily ever
In an
after with
actual
a-
happy functional marriage. Because it's
very
not going to
unlikely.
happen the way, like if she gets married to an actual good guy, if she just takes her channel away, we'll know why.
Or
but I don't
calms
think that's going to
down.
happen. That.
I mean, imagine if a guy showed up and was like, delete your channel.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like she literally says that. If a guy tells you to close your Instagram, what are you going to do?
Yeah, will she do it? Yeah, will she put her money where her mouth is?
There's no way she would do it. The money is too good right now.
Yeah. Listen, we love, okay? It's okay
I
to
do
love.
Like, I go to weddings, I cry every time because I think it's such a beautiful thing to commit to someone. It doesn't have to be a legal wedding. I think that it's beautiful either way.
I cry every time.
Commitment ceremony doesn't matter. I actually, like, I told Mark this, like, I'm okay getting married or not married. If I make a commitment to someone, that is forever for me. So,
yeah,
no,
like
Mark will have to die for me to be single.
Pearl wants divorce illegal to stop her husband from divorcing.
Oh
maybe that's why she's so for it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, Southern Belle here. Hello, Southern
Hi,
Belle.
lady. We haven't seen you in a hot minute.
Oh, here. I'm a guy. I love, but I'm a realist. And realize
that's what I'm saying. It's not probabilistically most people in the Western world are going to struggle to find a perfect relationship for them. Now, I hope that more people can accommodate and say, look, this is not exactly my criteria, but I'm stepping down or stepping into this, you know. And I'm not getting my perfect virgin who's also a porn star, you know, but I'm getting a woman who I can marry and
who also has this figure, who also can raise the kids.
Who looks like Kim Kardashian, but also can bake a pie.
And all that. I think it's very interesting. So a lot of the healthiest relationships, and maybe because they're a bit more open with this, is people who've had a lot of negative experiences. I'm not saying like the worst of the worst, like raping or anything like that, but they've lived a life where they've gone through trials and tribulations, whether in a relationship, with work, with themselves, and then they come and realize the stuff that they need in a relationship with their person. And I don't know many virgins like that gone into marriage and had it like 100% work out. So maybe it's just who I've talked to.
If you're a virgin, you're probably younger, and younger is statistically more probable to fail, right? If you're going to get married. And when I mean young, I mean like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? Very young marriages, right? You know, and by the way, I said 16 because some countries you can marry at 16, but they look at those statistics, and the statistics are still bad, right? For very, very young. You don't have experience behind you, just like you don't have experience with business, right? A businessman is a person who's gone out and failed at business.
Absolutely.
And they've learned what to do right? When you work out, you're working out until failure, right? I mean, it's like you have to fail to grow, right? That's the whole thing. So yeah, having some experience is worthwhile. Now there's a question of how much is enough, right? What is that baby bear, right? What's the Goldilocks zone, right? Where do you want to be for that perfect amount?
Sweet zone.
But it's not zero. Right, it's maybe 0 and having the Washington Wizards basketball team run the train on you. Like it's somewhere in between that, right? It's somewhere in between.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting that line.
That was the someone was bringing up no jumper recently with all the no jumper controversy. I don't know if we want to talk about that at all. That was one of the guests on No Jumper.
Southern Belle asks, what's your top 3 must-haves, Andrew?
Excuse me?
In general, like soda,
top
food
3. Let's say female traits.
Right? Like
when you're dating.
Oh.
What are
top 3 traits?
Sure.
For dating, okay, so that would be attractiveness, obviously number 1, right? But that's just like passing the bar, right? Attractiveness, nice to me, right? So you're nice to me, and you fit with my lifestyle, right? So my lifestyle in the macro fits with yours, not the micro, right? We do not have to do all the same stuff, but we fit together. So for example,
that is true.
For me, it is very difficult if someone wants to be a career woman and have a 9-to-5 office job. That is actually really a big problem for me because we're going to have very little time we can hang out, because a lot of the time when she's not working, I'm busy streaming, I'm busy doing other stuff, right? So like that is not a good fit, right? That's just not a good fit for my lifestyle in the macro and how I want to do. So those 3 things are the most important.
Interesting.
Yeah.
D-Day Direwolf for $2 says that swirly things. I think her hair. He's talking about her hair.
Like, I don't think that's what he's talking about, but we'll go with it.
Okay. All right. I am literally so innocent that I don't know what he's talking about. We'll go with that. Ginger Adventures for 5 says she's literally the New Year's Eve ball. Oh my God, that's so mean. Falling to the bottom, just like the wall. Oh my God. Listen, I had to read that. Sorry, YouTube.
You know what? Everybody talks poorly about the wall, but kudos to the wall. So,
I mean,
I think we talked about it. It's the mental thing that you go through when you realize, hey, it's harder for me now, right? Yeah. It's not that you look not hot. That's not it at all. There's women that are in the shit. I can show you pictures of. I can pull up my dating apps right now and show you pictures of girls in their 40s, and you'd be like, hot damn, right? But like, it is like it is the mental thing of knowing I now have to try harder. And also there's some guys that just will not date you. They just will not date you because of your age.
And here's the thing too, like the Kim Kardashians Kim Kardashian is single.
Yes.
Now I realize the boss babe, okay, but put that aside. Physically, if she's single, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Angelina Jolie, single. Jennifer Aniston, single. Like, come on. Physically wise, right? Forget all the mental whatever. Well, we can discuss that at another point. But physically, if they're single, like everybody hits the wall. You know?
Yeah, and Hollywood is a horrible example because obviously these people have a bunch of money and clout,
have
right?
Different types of standards.
Hold it, and their standards are totally different. So trying to impose these weird Hollywood rules on real life is bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, I can't say much about my 20s. I was too busy working for a social life. Didn't do much of anything until I was 28 or 29.
But I think, look, when you're 28,
hey, that
29,
could work for you.
Yeah, I know there's great girls at 20, 29, and 20, 29 is a great time to think about it seriously and to get married. And I think you can find a good guy at 28, 29. That's perfectly possible. That's very easy to do.
Listen, I get it. I know. I just meant like beauty-wise. All right, go with me here, Magnus.
Okay,
Jeez.
and Magnus, every girl has baggage.
Unfortunately,
every girl, doesn't matter. If it's not one thing, it's the other. Most girls, it's
but there is a point. But I will defend this here. Here's my misogyny, right?
Misogyny,
especially in the U.S. I think there's too much baggage, and it's being put on the boyfriend to be this person who's going to be the one to not just do all those things, the boyfriend stuff, but heal her from that. And they are not healing themselves from that. They're coming and bringing it into the relationship. Yep. So now I've got to be the guy who, like, they're like, well, my last boyfriend was an asshole and he never called me or told me where we were going or anything else like that. He just would show up randomly drunk. And so because of that, I don't trust anybody. It's like, well, I'm not the one doing this to you. Can you please treat me as an individual, right? Yes. Like I'm an individual. If I do it to you, then you are merited. But I don't care frankly, that's not my problem, right?
Why are you putting your ex's problems on you?
Right? You haven't healed that before you come into our relationship.
I agree with this. I agree with this. So I think that something that I wish was more readily available, and I mean this in the nicest way, but like everyone should go to some sort of therapy at some point in their life to face these demons, or just have
talk to somebody.
Biased, very unbiased. And there, it could be a friend, because as Tugs knows, I'm pretty good at talking relationship stuff, and I'll tell the truth because I don't like to gloss over that, because it's not going to help you date in the future or be a better friend in the future, whatever it is. So
between you and CJ, I got smacked.
Wow. Yes. I love you. But
that's what friends are for. Friends are for like slapping you around and being like, you're acting silly, Tugs. Like, get your shit together, girl.
Exactly, I mean, you said it nicer, but
I said it.
Yeah, you're women. You do it in a nice way, but I'm doing it in a dude way, right? Which is like, why
are you being an idiot?
if Mark has a friend, right? So like, if Mark has a friend and he's been friends with this guy forever, and he sees him and he's gained 300 pounds, he's gonna be like, dude, you're a fat fuck. Like, get your shit together and like start working out. You know what I mean? Like, that's maybe he wouldn't do it because he's Canadian. He'd do it very nicely, but like,
sorry, why you fat,
Yeah, like too much poutine, You know, like whatever. You know, like then beaver tails. You know, whatever.
No.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, we would call each other out on that, and that's what friends do, and friends should do that.
And I think that there's too many women and men, doesn't matter, both sides, going into relationships hoping that it fixes them or fills that void in them. I would say majority women. We'll say majority women. And you shouldn't go into relationships like that. You should go to enrich your life. Go into it to enrich it. Like, it's It's horrible to find a void and have that filled by a man, because guess what? They're not going to fill it. You have to be happy.
We were talking earlier about where does the sexual deviance come from. I think this ties into it.
Yes.
This ties into it a lot, I think. Yes.
Well, and last week too. Last week too, we talked about again, Pearl, poor Pearl. She's just been everywhere, but she had her
she's doing it to
board.
herself. She's not. She's kind of bringing something.
She's inserting herself.
She had her whiteboard, right, and she was talking about like the top 5 red flags in women or whatever, and one of them was chest tattoos. And me personally, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but personally, every girl I have ever known that has had a big arm, the chest, the leg, huge. I'm not talking the little ones that are randomly everywhere. Oh, I got a heart because my sister loves hearts and we're besties. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the big pieces, right? You either have body dysmorphia or you have daddy issues. There is no in between. And personally, I have never met either one. So either they hate their body and they're trying to cover it up with beautiful art, or they have daddy issues in the sense that they didn't really grow up with structure. So that's their rebellion, right? Their rebellion against their father, who may have popped in later, who may have been a divorced dad, who may have my divorced dad thing was a belly ring. I have a belly ring. I don't have any tats, but I have a belly ring. So I get it. But those were the only 2.
Which I like. I think those are really good looking, and I appreciate that.
I like mine. But I saw some girls in the chat kind of be like, oh, well, I'm like, but I'm not saying that's everybody, but the girls that I have met either hate their bodies so much, they're trying to cover it up. And so they get these big, huge pieces, right, that cover up the things they don't like about themselves. Or they're using it as like this crazy rebellion because mom and dad are divorced and whatever. That's it. So
there tends to be some pain in their internal world.
Yeah,
so it's
like this weird
inflicting the pain in the external world because tattoos are painful, and that's an extraordinarily. I mean, look, I have tattoos. I have a sleeve, right? But I broke that up into 3 parts because it's super painful, right? So like, they're going through that pain because they want their external world to match their interior world because they feel
exactly
right.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting
it's all up here.
way to look at that.
Yeah.
It's all, if you can break down the psychology of it, it's fascinating. But
some women do choose the wrong guy so that they can feel that pain too.
Yes, if they can relive it and they want to heal it, right? So that's one of the things is you find somebody like your dysfunctional parent or somebody in your family who's dysfunctional, the same.
So you can try to work through it.
Traits. Yes, because your mind says, I want to heal that. And my way to do that is to reenact it. And if I can fix it, then I can solve this thing. But the problem is by finding the person, you're finding people with problems, which are destined for failure.
I can fix him.
I can fix him. I can fix him. When the Dahmer special came out, people were like, I can fix Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm like, what?
Oh, he's a murderer. I don't know if he's going to fix him. To be fair,
my favorite part about that were the women fawning over him. Now, I know part of that was the actor. Everybody loves what's his bucket.
I love him. He's a great actor. I love him.
But a lot of the women were like, oh, Dahmer is blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about the person himself. And I'm like, you realize he didn't like women, right? Like the whole point was, no, you missed that part. Like, where did that come? What are you doing? You can't fix him at all ever. What are you talking about?
But that's the other thing is like the women that probably are going for him, they want that challenge. They think that it's like a thing that if they can defeat it, they can probably defeat their own internal battles.
Oh, yeah.
Women are still writing Charles Manson. Oh, God.
I think Rollo talks about hybristophilia. That's
it's a thing. Serial killers having a fan base, women specifically fan base. It's disturbing. But Charles Manson got married. What was he in his 80s? Just a few years before he died. And I got all of the jokes, all of them. My family was like, hey, you're still single and Charles Manson's married now. How does that feel? I'm like, rude. But yeah, no, serial killers are a thing because it's a power thing. They have the power. They have not justifying it, but they have power.
Almost.
Think
about it.
Yeah. It's an animalistic thing that women are attracted to, but because we're so distorted in general, we don't we can't
distinct bad people that are violent from good people that are violent.
Yes.
From the guy that kills the woolly mammoth and brings it back for the tribe to the guy who kills a human and brings the meat back for the tribe.
Yes. In our weird warped brains, it's the same person and it's not. And so like Richard Ramirez, Charles Manson, Ted Bundy. I mean, they all have these group of fangirls that are just like, no,
yeah, we're not as evolved as we like to think.
No, we
that
are
is
not.
interesting. An alpha is an alpha, even in jail.
Yeah, well, we consider Charles Manson an alpha.
I think he has some alpha characteristics.
Technically, yes, but once again, it's not a moral judgment. It's a like, did women want to fuck him? The answer is yes, and it's like valid. You just have to say it. People say people were writing him until his death. But does that mean you emulate him? No, of course not, right? Like, of course not, right? That's the whole roll of vasectomy thing. It's like, yeah, technically that's the quickest path to be a high value, but do you take it? Of course not. That's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, and all the girls that he had with him, Manson specifically, were all broken homes, broken this, broken that, so that, you know, it works out well. I mean, they killed for him, so
they killed for him. Like, they didn't just get laid; they literally murdered people.
They literally murdered. R.I.P. Sharon.
Oh gosh, deranged lunatic, aka DL for $1.99 says Pearl is Chrissy's next character play. I think that would be hilarious if she did do that. I mean, she doesn't even have to wear a wig; she just has to mess up her hair.
Yeah, that's true.
Adam Iglesias for $10 says I should leave it up to fate, right? I'm not sure how to talk to women my age. 19 years old. They think I'm being creepy, or they talk really low for no reason. I don't know what that means, really low.
I want to say one thing about this, because he's a young guy, right? And that's the thing for young guys. You got to remember this. Look, I remember this. It's fucking tough for young guys. It gets better when you get older, right? And you just gotta sit back. You got to gain wisdom, gain confidence. And for you, don't even focus on talking to women. If you're at the point where they think you're being creepy or low key, focus on just talking to people. Like, not sexual conversations, just having more conversations.
Friendships.
Like just literally talk to the cashier and be friendly, make banter, small talk, right? Because you want to if you're able to do small talk with people, and it be normal, that's going to be fine. Just have normal, regular conversations with more people.
And be the funny guy. As horrible
but not
as
try hard funny guy.
But not try hard. Like, naturally funny. You know, I think being a funny guy, and I always say this, being a funny guy, girls' pants just drop to the floor. Don't know why, but they do. They do. Yeah. So, hey, stuff to think about for the future.
Take Andrew's advice on that one.
Yeah. I just want to start conversation, but they make it difficult. Talk to any age person. Doesn't matter the gender.
Any age person, any gender person. Just start a regular conversation, and once you're able to get that going, your social skills get up. You're going to build upon that, and then you're going to be able to do it. Because I think, especially when a lot of these guys, especially with the red pill, they'll come and they'll want to go right into talking to girls at a club, at a nightclub. That's like going and trying to drive in the Indy 500. It's like you're going all the way up. Like, just start regular, start normal, build the social skills over time. It's like exercising. It's a muscle you haven't worked out. You need to exercise it in order to get better at it.
I think.
And by the way, I don't consider myself an expert too. I talk to everybody still because I try to keep up on that and keep in on that, and shit. Even now I'm in a new country. I gotta learn new phrases. I gotta learn how to hit on girls in different languages. It's difficult.
New language.
It's difficult. Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, at that young of an age, it's just good to do that in general. Like we went to a brewery in the place we stayed at for the Grand Canyon, and there were these two guys that had these accents that were like, is that Russian? Whatever. And we struck up a conversation, and they're from Bulgaria. They landed in this small town, Arizona, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, how? And so you learn things. You learn to pick up accents. You learn to pick up cues. You learn to pick up behaviors. And you just talk to people and say, hey, the best, honestly, not to sound like an alcoholic, but the best place to do that is a bar. You just sit at the bar and you order a drink, water, just club soda, whatever, and you just talk to the bartender. And the stories they have, where they come from, how they ended up here, blah, 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 blah. You just hear stuff. And people next to you will talk to you and be like, oh, you're drinking this, and can I buy you a drink? And it doesn't have to be romantic. You just learn to talk to people and get to know people and be personable. And that brings you up this way, and you walk into a room like this, and that gets ladies' attention because you're walking to a room like this instead of like this.
Right.
I'll give you a couple pointers on this. Always introduce yourself and ask what their name is, and say their name multiple times in a conversation, because guess what? You'll remember their name and they feel special.
Yes. Because that's a very good one.
I have been trying that for the last 5 years and just in just regular conversation with my patients, and guess what? They feel so happy because they actually are they feel heard. And if someone says something, asks a question, use the same words in the question to answer back because it sounds like you're listening.
Yeah. Yep.
So things like that, bringing up something you've talked about, the name, all of that will make you a better conversator.
Yes. And also, I'm laughing. Laughing Gasser here says, be the bartender. He's 19, so we can't, I mean, depending on where he's at. But
the bartender personality, though. That's
yes. So
I was a waiter and a bartender, and it really helped me. So
waiter, busboy, customer service, which is, you know, catch-22, but you learn to talk to people at customer service, and you go from there, kind of thing. So, you know, talk to people.
Smoo asks so what you're saying approach. Like Tugs, you can ask me like, hey, what's your favorite hobby to do? My favorite hobby, Tugs, is I like to blah 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 blah, like something like that. That's the type of answer I'd give to that question.
What you're saying. I don't know what this what you're saying approach is.
I don't know. I never heard of this.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one. But like, okay, for instance, we were at the same brewery, and I looked over at this guy next to us. His wife and his 2 kids were allowed to be in this brewery area. And I look over and she's reading a Babysitter's Club book. Now, as a 90s baby, I was like, oh my God, the Babysitter's Club. And so the wife was like, oh yeah, you know, we found them or whatever. But the husband had like a pass that he was going through that was checked off at the bartender's, like, oh my gosh, what is that? So he told me about this cool thing. And so that leads to a conversation. Did I go home with either of them? No, because they're a couple and they have kids. No, but it gets you the opportunity to talk to people and get to know different cultures and things like that. And you may find out something about your town that you never knew before because some tourist showed up and did this weird thing or whatever. It's cool. It's fun. Talk to people's great.
Yeah. BB does ask here, don't women know within 30 seconds if they ever sleep with that guy? Not necessarily.
I'm gonna eject you guys. I think you categorize the guy immediately.
So do you guys.
Right? Yeah. So do we. So do we. We all do that. It's a lizard thing, but we do the. Is this a guy? Here's the not that you will now. But is he in the category of a guy I would?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Procreation, like fun time
is it
or no?
On the table? Is it on the table or is it off the table?
There's the definitely no, there's the yes, and then there's the maybe.
Maybe.
So if you fall in the maybe, guess what? You have a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Who? There's no chance with anyone else.
You haven't seen that movie, Dumb and Dumber?
She doesn't watch any movies.
Oh no!
Oh, what is that?
There's so you're
Dumb
saying
and Dumber. I think I met the actors for Dumb and Dumber.
What? You met Jim Carrey? Kudos to Jim Carrey.
No. Who's the other guy?
Yeah,
what is his name?
Maybe a long time ago. Never mind.
The Channel know the other actors.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. I do not look at celebrities as celebrities. I don't care.
I don't care either.
So either way, it doesn't matter in that sense. But sorry, Good Wrench.
I don't even ask her anymore. I just assume she's
Just assume no.
Yeah. You're playing Starship Troopers, and you've never even seen Starship Troopers.
Oh God. I had such a crush on Denise Richards when I was younger.
Who didn't? I'm a straight woman, and I was like, that is a fine lady.
And then I saw Wild
Things. Is beautiful, though. Like, even I can appreciate it.
You know, after Wild Things, my balls dropped. So, yeah, it was good.
Oh, wow.
I think most men's balls dropped after Wild Things.
Yeah.
Listen, Tricky. Sit down at a bar and be. No, that's not what I said. I said if you strike up a conversation, you may have people that will be like, oh, well, what are you drinking? You know, kind of thing, and vice versa. Okay, listen, it happens. And I'm not just talking about men. I'm talking about in general.
What I do.
And by the way, this is something. Hell, women may need this because look, everybody in Gen Z, people are saying, "Oh, this is dating advice." No, this is social advice because, frankly, we're actually kind of boomers, like compared to the Gen Z. Their social skills are even worse than ours because we were still in an era where we were like went out and did clubs and physical stuff and met in real life, touch grass, as the kids say. You know, and we had some social skills. They're having like zero, and this is in the era of Corona, right? When we're told that. Interaction is dangerous, right? We can all, you know, get in trouble for interacting with other humans, you know. Their social skills are bad. They're real bad.
Yeah, and it could be as easy as you hear something over here, not in a creepy way, and be like, "Oh, I heard about that movie. Is that good?" Or something like that.
Yeah.
Something as simple like that. "Oh, you're ordering that drink. Is that good? I don't know what to get."
Yeah. Or you see like a freaky drink that comes out, and you're like, "What is that? What did you order?"
It looks cool.
And you're like, "Oh, it's this," and you're like, "Okay, yeah, I want to try that."
Yeah. And it might be a short interaction, and that's where you learn the cues. Like this person might be like, "Oh, I don't really want to chat with you," or maybe they'll open the cue up and actually talk back to you, and then that's where you get to learning about these things. Good friend says, "Outside, wow." I love touching grass every day.
It's fun stuff. It's fun stuff.
Paul Blunt for 279 Canadian says, "I'm totally a 3. Are you the alien in the picture?"
It's a hard. Hey, maybe for the aliens, it's the 10.
Yeah. Hey.
Maybe. Yeah.
True.
You don't know.
They'll get those probes out for you or something. I don't know.
Stop probing your X-ray.
That's
I know.
the first
I don't
thing
want
I
to know
think
about
about.
you and Mark's kinks here. You know.
I mean, with aliens, that's the first thing I think about is the probes. Okay.
It's the probe.
Anyone else who thinks otherwise, I don't know. John Thomas for 5 says, "I have always maintained 80% of women are attractive in some way. Guys need to get over her not being a Victoria's Secret model."
I don't agree with the 80%.
I feel like that Jabba the Hutt lady would
Sorry.
be your breaker there, John.
Yeah,
What
like
was it?
Gorlock and look, if your BMI is a morbidly obese, which is now a significant part of the nice, like you don't qualify. So at least those girls. I mean, yes, there's the one guy who has the fetish for that, but like that is a niche. Most human beings find that disgusting and repulsive.
Oh, you don't know who Gorlock is?
No, he was double checking. Yeah, Gorlock. I'm talking about Gorlock.
Just Google Gorlock, and it immediately comes up now.
Gorlock, whatever podcast. Yeah. Ooh. John Thomas for 5 says, "Legal mindset. Did you see the Florida lawyer got deported from Cambodia for being a fan of the playground, as Sydney Watson puts it? Did it make the news there?"
I didn't see that one, but I don't know anything about this. But I'll just say this: don't fuck around abroad, because they don't play, right? There's a lot of people getting in trouble who come around, particularly in Asia. You do not play. I think that what they're trying to say is there's some underage stuff going on. I don't know.
Look, a tiger mom.
I don't no clue, but yeah, don't fuck around.
Tiger moms in Asia are a real thing, okay? If they get a whiff of that, oh hell no. They're scary.
Yeah.
What is okay, maybe I'm showing my age. What is the playground?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a
fans
Sydney
of
Watson
kids.
fan. That's what I'm assuming. This is what she means by it, but that's the logical reason why you'd be deported.
Not Sydney Watson, of course, but like
no, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I mean Sydney Watson is a feminist, but I mean like, you know,
she's a based one for the most part. For the most part.
I
covered her lawsuit, which is totally not based, but you know, that being said.
I see. I heard.
I haven't looked into that.
Yes, super mask off, super hardcore feminist. But that being said, you know, yeah, I'm not in a support of people who are into that. Yeah. Plenty of women out there for you that are perfectly legal. So
exactly.
Please, for the love of God, make sure they're 18.
Highlighted L-Dub. "I find that Pearl thing very interesting because at 26 she is on a tight timetable by her own standards. We'll literally see if she succeeds in a few years."
True.
I hope she. You know what? I think it'd be interesting to see if she actually succeeds and if the relationship succeeds.
But she already doesn't. But here's the thing about Pearl: like she already doesn't meet her own criteria, like in terms of like virginity, body count, like. You know, what her wife material skills are. So, like, she's already way back deep, right? She's already got a bunch of problems. So, I don't know how much she actually holds herself to these standards at all.
Yeah.
It really.
And her response to the body count was, "I can't turn back time." But you can focus your life on the things that matter more. Right now, it seems like it's her channel. Like, she could have focused on, like, wife skills. She could have gone to cooking school. She could have gone and learned, like, TikTok has a plethora of cleaning videos that you can learn from.
And recipes. I have a lot of recipes from TikTok. But the thing is too is like you can't turn back time, which is true. She's not wrong. But I bring up Chase in that too. If I I could turn back. I get you.
It's a good song.
But I bring Chase in that too, where he can't turn back time either, but he set this boundary, standard, line, whatever you want to call it, from here on forward. You know, no, I'm not going to be that person anymore. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to want this from here on out. He's not trying to change the past. He's not trying to erase it. She could have said something like that.
Yeah, maybe actually, if she just said that I'm waiting until marriage for that, hey, much respect. Okay. If you do that,
and you can also say this, I'm totally cool. People change their minds, saying I screwed up. I did this in the past. Now I want to do it this way.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. And I think there's so I had a relationship back in the day where midway through dating, oh, you okay?
I'm good. I'm
It
good.
wasn't your water, was it?
Oh
No, it was my third phone. I have like 3 phones.
3 phones. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
one for the drugs.
He runs a underground tattoo ring.
Yeah.
Midway through my relationship, the guy decided that he wanted to become Muslim, which is fine. I don't care. Just don't try to convert me, which is, he didn't. But then he was like, I want to just, stop doing all the, be a complete Muslim, Islam, and all that stuff. Not do anything physical. And he still tried to do things physical. And I don't have respect for that. If you're going to try to, do whatever you want in that religion, in whatever prospects you want that has standards, and you fall back, I'm going to lose respect for you. And I think that's the thing, is she could do that.
Honestly, if you're in especially a religion that's very orthopraxic, which is the one that has a lot of practices, you really should be with someone who's also of that religion.
Oh, absolutely.
The practicing of that religion will be easier on both of you, right? So it's not going to burden your partner, and it's going to be easy for you to abide. So they know, hey, you got to cook halal, right? We got to be kosher. That's why it's easier to follow all these rules to stay it. That's why even in the Bible, I talked about this with Tugs, actually, there's the whole evenly yoked thing, right? So that's the marrying another, it's a Bible thing of being evenly yoked and avoiding being unevenly yoked, which is, if you're married to somebody who is a Christian, it is easier to be Christian because you are both following that lifestyle and you can keep each other accountable. If you're married to somebody and one's a Christian, one's a Muslim, they may not even know what the requirements of each other's religion are, what the standards are, and their ability to hold each other accountable is almost zero.
And there's also the whole idea of raising your kids. How do you...
Sorry, I just read X-Ray Girls for Rom. That made me laugh.
Oh my God, absolutely. Okay. How do you choose the religion for your child?
That makes it really
two different
difficult.
Religions.
It's a huge fight then, and it's just easier to be on the same page about that from Jump Street.
Yeah, so that relationship didn't last. After he tried to do that, I was like, no.
and that's the reasonable, dude, that's a changed circumstance where someone's like, dude, you can do that, that's fine, but we cannot, this is the for dating, that's not okay, right? So that's a major change thing. When you started the relationship, he was not Muslim, then he wants to become Muslim. Okay, that's great, but...
Guess what? We were not equally yoked, as Andrew put it.
I don't know what I missed the end.
The equally yoked. We're talking about equally yoked in religion,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it on our show when we talked on my other channel.
Yep.
And I think it is for the best. And it's I'm not saying it will never work. I'm just saying I think it's better.
It's uphill battle.
It's very hard. Yeah, it's not. If you're not willing to convert, or they're not willing to convert, or if you're religious and they're not, and it just
And imagine if you're Muslim and he's like, well, I'm gonna get a second wife, and you're like, well, I'm Christian and I don't believe in that, right? It's like, well,
yeah, that definitely does not work out.
It would definitely not work out. I like my bacon too, by the way. So
yeah, exactly. And I'm right-hand dominant.
That's your main problem.
That's my main problem for sure.
Yeah, I need bacon. So sorry.
All right, Tricky for 5 says, if someone thinks I can change him or her, then that's not the person for you. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You don't want to. I think there's concessional things that you can change. I'm trying to think.
Well, I mean, we all change, right?
Like the forks up or down. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the little things like that. But if it's personality, ooh.
Well, the whole mentality of the people who want to change somebody, there's the type of girl or guy, like the Captain Save a Ho, right? It's the same thing. Captain Save a Ho and I can change it. Same thing, right? Because it's like, I can fix her. I can get that girl. Hell, I see it here in Thailand all the time. You know, people will see the girl on the pole or the go-go girl, or the girl's working at the bar, and she's like, and they try to say, oh, I can bring her to America. I can save her. I can do this. And then she's still a hoe, right? You know, because it's like, you understand that goes to your head, right? Like that goes to your mind. So when you wife somebody up, when you wife up the stripper, when you wife up the sugar baby, right? That's still with them in the way they think. And it's really programmed in how they think.
Yeah.
I can make, there you go. Duck Dangerous guy. I can make that stripper go. I can Julia Roberts. I can Pretty Woman this girl.
Yeah.
Yep. And we can tame the bad boy. Yep.
Absolutely not. Because everyone wants like whatever, the lady on the street freaking the sheets type of person. That's not going to always happen. And guess what? I've talked to...
you can find a balance, but
you can find a balance.
It's going to be a balance. It's not going to be extreme. You know?
I remember talking to one of my clients, because I do talk a lot about stuff, because I wax people. Obviously, I'm in a very sensitive area. And I remember one of my clients, she was saying that like, yeah, we do a lot of crazy stuff, but like, I'd say 95% of the time it's that like very simple missionary, but like the 5% is the kink. It doesn't happen all the time.
But when you get it,
hey, that's fun, I guess, for them, you know.
Or not fun. I don't know. It depends on what it is, right?
Well, I didn't want to know the kinks completely, to be honest.
The interesting thing is I feel like you have your, and it's again generalizing, you have your tryhards, which are like Red Room, 50 Shades of Grey craziness. But then you have our Kinkses, maybe we're on a road trip and we pull over on this side of the road. You know, that is not necessarily kink, but that's your bad boy. That's your
is that bad? Okay.
No. You know what I mean? Like there's a
I'm like thinking for a second, when I almost got in a car accident driving in Florida. Never mind. It's going to continue.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Not a kink, just things that happen. You're like,
I hear about
we gotta drive here, man. We
everybody
got like 30
has
minutes to go.
Everybody has a little bit of a wild side, and that sometimes
that is okay. Just don't get in accidents.
Yeah, I was like driving very slowly, you know? Yeah.
Oh no!
Or the Mile High Club.
Avoiding the speed bump, you know? It's
like... Lean the chair back a little bit.
Low rider.
Wishing my windows were actually tinted, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Howdy, officer. She is wearing her seatbelt.
You're just like, 1 minute.
Oh dear. I'm sorry, chat.
They love it.
Anyways, what were we talking about? Bad boys, bad girls.
Bad boys, bad girls. Yes. Oh my God.
Oh my God, Nick. Don't drive stick, you ride it.
Listen, my youngins who have never heard of Nickelback, Google the song Nickelback Animals. You're welcome.
Yeah. What is it? Everybody. Go.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say everybody hates Nickelback till Rockstar comes out at the bar.
That's a psyop. Look at this photograph. That's propaganda. I'm telling you. I was there. Nickelback was the #1 for I don't even know how long. And then all of a sudden we all woke up on a Tuesday and everybody hated
Chad Kroger and his every song sounded the same though, to be fair, but he still did good. I gotta give it to him. This is a good question. What is the maximum body count that you would accept? Not to smooth the DJ specifically, but like, but I also think it's time. Like what age?
I also think
19,
once again, how
bodies.
do they treat you? I think that's how the manifestation of that comes out, right? Because you see the personality signs of somebody who has that. If they start to disrespect you, if they start to treat you poorly, like that body count comes through in personality, I think. Also looks too, because you end up leading a hard life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the people with the high body count. I mean, think about it. You're probably partying a lot, drinking, probably doing drugs. Like, you know, in modern America, right? Those girls are like their 20s are like really, really crazy, and drinking has a horrible effect on your skin. It dries out your skin like horribly. So you go into your 30s and you're a really hard drinker. That's not going to be. You're going to see it.
Take care of your skin. And here's a tip for the ladies out there. Not only your face, but your hands, because your hands will show your age more than your face.
Yeah.
As an esthetician. But anyways.
Okay. Lotion, tanning, lotion.
Don't tan. Don't tan. Don't tan. Be as white as possible.
I have a great tan going on, just saying.
Fabian asks, and I thought this was a good question. Is it possible for women to lower their standards to get married? I always say lower your standards, but I just mean physical standards. Don't go for the 666 guy.
What kind of standards are you talking about, Beebeen?
Like,
are you talking about just physical, or are you talking about all of it? Are you talking about like, oh, I'm 25 and hot, and I'm like Paris Hilton, and I just think it's
really difficult. Whatever. Like we say, is it possible? Like in theory, but in practice, it almost never happens to like lower, particularly stuff like social economics. I think that's really difficult for women to get over. Saying I've got to date the guy who's kind of doesn't have anything, and I'm the guy who's making money. I think it's very difficult for that.
Okay, then I pose a better question in the sense of you can date any socioeconomic status, but you have to think about how they're using their money, because you can still date a rich guy and they can be broke AF because they spend my apartment I rent, the car I'm still paying off, I'm buying all this stuff, I don't cook and all that, I have a cleaner. They're not going to have any savings.
Buying plushies, you know, I mean,
plushie, buying hot toys, you know, that's what
Sarah, where are you?
So I think that those are the type of questions that maybe you should ask as well, because you can get someone who is making like $60K US and still live as if they're rich, you know, versus they have a house and all this, or you can date the 100K, you know, 6-figure guy and they have nothing to show for it. And I've seen people like that. It's really sad.
To be honest with you though, Beebeen, I think that in general, as a whole, modern dating wise, your Gen Z girls and your younger millennial girls, this point, yes, but they've been with so many men at that point. As a generalization, they've been with so many men at that point that they'll never be satisfied. Does that make sense?
Well, because they go to each relationship and they look at only the positives and they want this, and this, and this. I think when you date your relationships, what you should draw from them when they don't work out is, this is not what I want to look for. This is the type of guy I want to look for, and kind of meld the two together and not be like, I want the hot guy, the guy who F's, the guy who is, you know, has this nice car, the house. And that's the one thing I always hated hearing. Like girls are like, I want a guy who has their own place. Where do you live?
Right.
For example, you know, like things like this is like, you expect a guy to bring what to the table? What do you bring to the table as well? And I don't want to say necessarily like cleaning, cooking, all that stuff. Okay, it could be other stuff as well, other qualities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Andrew?
Wait, I mean, in terms of lowering the standards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or in terms of that question. Oh, sorry, I was reading that question like it's tough for women to just.
Oh yeah.
No, but I mean, it is true, by the way. But anyways, is it possible? I think it is possible, but I do think women do have to lower your standards, or you do have to say, this is what's most important for me. I want a family guy, right? So his wanting to start a family is the most important thing, his ability to raise a family. So I'm going to have to seriously step back on that. That's what it takes to have a successful relationship, particularly in the West, particularly in 2023. So you've got to do that. It's possible, but it's really hard. It's really difficult, especially for the ladies.
And I mean, we got like the weirdest looks when we're like, what's the minimum that your guy has to make?
Oh my God, we were on Rolos. Did we tell you about this, Andrew?
On Access Vegas, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you guys, you girls would know, and you talk to those girls. They are successful business people who are making millions of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Their net worth is probably in the millions of these ladies. Very successful in their business, right? Because that is a business for them. So when they say that, I think either Rollo said this or Mike Sartain said this. That's their cost of maintenance. Like that's to maintain their lifestyle. They can't maintain their lifestyle without that. So that's what it takes to maintain those types of girls in America. It takes that much money because they've locked in lifestyle. It's not worth it. That's why those girls are competing for like 2 dudes, because very few dudes have the money to support a girl like that, to literally bankroll her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
yeah, it was the 2 of us, and then the girl, ironically, the girl who does the OnlyFans with her husband, even was like, "Oh yeah, no, 50K is great. Like we've been together however many years they were together," and she's like, "I married him when he was making like 30 grand a year. 50 is a pay raise." We got the craziest looks. The 3 of us were like,
"Okay,
I'm sorry."
I'm sorry, my standards are so low apparently.
If I can live on that, you can live on that.
Yeah. Let's answer like one more question and then we'll wrap it up. How can a woman who thinks she has her soulmate lower her standard when she gets a DM from a billionaire in Dubai? Is she still with that billionaire? I'm just saying.
Listen, first of all, we've all been catfished by the Nigerian prince. Okay, don't answer those emails.
No, but I see what BB means though.
I'll say this though. Like, if you're with a girl, like if you I'll put you on the spot, actually, girl. Like you're in Tugs too, both of y'all. You're in relationships. If you were messaged by a guy and you're in a happy relationship, the girl is gonna delete that DM. She's gonna delete that message. She's gonna do that. If a girl's in an unhappy relationship, then the probability goes up. She's gonna answer that message and take that call, right? But like for girls that are in a happy relationship, they're not gonna take that. They're gonna turn that down. It's 100 out of 100.
Yep. Yep.
But I think like I guess if you're a single person and that's like what you've done, I remember when we were so shocked about the whole like when you've traveled a lot in Instagram that's like a red flag.
That's a red flag. I'm like, uh-oh. I mean, I've never been overseas, but like I travel by myself all the time.
Yeah.
Oops.
But there's a thing, I guess, like people fly people out to different countries and cities and all that stuff. And
well, that's sort of one of the things that's like by the way, Tugs, like girls who travel by themselves, there's a high correlation with sexual promiscuity. So
oh really?
That's like one of the that's like.
I mean, to be fair, I was going to Disney World, so I don't know.
Okay, I used to do. So I was in Orlando, right? And I was one of the biggest on couch surfing. I could just say, hey, whoever wants to come here, and that. Was
you were a host on couch surfing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You didn't even
and once again,
app.
it's like a self-selection. It's a self-sorting, because it's like the people that are doing it are the single girl that just wants to go around and she understands and she gets it and she's down, So she's trying to have fun. She's a young girl who's trying to have fun and wants to travel.
That is very interesting. So I did a lot of traveling, but I did like very different type of traveling. So I would go to my friends. So I had a lot of friends around, like girlfriends. I'm saying girlfriends. I never went to a guy's place because I always thought it was weird. And I'd visit them, and then I would like travel all around in that area, and they'd be my guide because I loved that. I got to see like friends and family and stuff like that. So I was kind of integrated in the culture. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I did a lot of traveling."
Both of us were like, "Wait, what?"
But like,
not everybody, but once again.
But we also didn't do like. I mean, you traveled overseas. I never
for myself.
So we didn't do like the whole. Oh, let me slide into your DMs and I'll put you on my yacht.
No. And that's a different level, right? That's not just like traveling. Like, for example, like if I go to the area where the Khaosan Road, which they film the Hangover here, like there's the white girls galore there, right? They're traveling one thing. But they're not the girl, the DM to Dubai, I've got a camel in 100K, like... Yeah, I know. Come on out. That's a different type of girl. And that is being sourced off of Instagram primarily.
So I hear.
Big Instagram thing, yeah.
But they target the model girls on Instagram.
Just kind of like how Brian from whatever like slides in their DMs with guests on his channel. Same thing.
But I mean, with him, it's like what they use. That's their method, right? So like, it's kind of acceptable.
I always paid my way. We both of us were like, "Why I always paid my way?" I'm so confused. And the chat's like,
I did once go to a hostel in Amsterdam. It was the first time I traveled alone for 2 days, and then I went to my friend in Ireland. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is so like weird and different. And I could see the culture of that like hookup, but I never partook in that. I love just talking to random people. And
well, and random people, I've seen so many blogs because I traveled solo for so long too that I was thinking about going overseas. And I was reading blogs of girls, well, in general, couples, not just single girls, but in general, people who would like YOLO it basically, and they quit their jobs and they take their backpacks and they go overseas and they're backpacking and they meet people in Europe and the Europeans are like, "Oh, come stay with us for a couple of days." It's totally fine.
They will do that.
Thing out there.
It is a thing. The same as like you can hitchhike places safely, etc. Right? But like. You know, you are taking still a little bit of a chance.
It's a risk.
But it is a thing. But I've stayed with folks in Germany and France and in Holland and Brussels, Belgium, Switzerland, you know, stuff like that. That's perfectly safe and fine. It's more acceptable, especially if they've stayed with you before. So it's like
I was gonna say though, you are a 6'7" man who is. If you fell on someone, that would hurt.
Yeah, Germany. Yeah, all those. Ireland was another place. Not towards England, but like local England, you know, Bath and all that, like the small town England side, those kind of places were all like, "Oh, come stay with us, no worries, like it's fine." I'm like, what?
Yeah. If I were to travel now, I would only go to like girlfriends or like married couples places. I don't.
But that's a change. That's the change, right? The change. That's why like your friends change from like you're single when you're younger. It's the single hoe friends to them now you're married or the people who are dating.
All of my friends are married. All of you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You want to do different things, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. I still like going out and partying with my friends. Okay.
But with your friends.
But we're in bed by 11.
But here's the you're in bed by 11, and you don't need to worry about the one friend who's trying to have the random hookup that night, and you got a babysitter and watch her, and she's vomiting, and you got to hold her hair, and she runs off with a guy, and you got to it's a whole expedition.
Oh, and then you have to make sure she gets home and all that.
You've all got your boyfriend, or husband, so they make sure that you're safe and that you have somebody who's responsible for you. So,
it's so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, now I don't have to worry about that as much. So,
no, it's so nice. Oh my God.
But cheers. Thank you, Andrew, for hanging out with us.
I love talking with you, ladies. I always have fun. I have so much fun coming over and talking with you girls because it's just such a good conversation with you girls. So reasonable. I wish it would be unreasonable, but it's so damn reasonable.
I know. I can't clip any of this. Dang it.
I know. It's horrible. You're horrible.
How dare we all agree on things?
You're failures. You're failures as YouTubers.
This is an echo chamber right here.
Antagonistic.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe at first you thought it was going to be antagonistic. No, I'm like, actually, I really like these girls, you know, and people give good feedback whenever you guys come on my channel. So I really appreciate when you show up on my channel. Both of you. You know, I was talking with Ben, and I was like, oh, you know, not all, like some of the YouTube creators, I like them a lot. And he's like, you know, that X-ray girl, she's pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, she's pretty cool. She's pretty cool. So,
lovely.
So yeah, no, it's good coming on. Thank you so much. Hope that I'll have both of you on my channel again.
Yes.
You know, in all my channels, many of my channels. So it's
all of them.
Legal Mindset, Illegal Mindset, Go East Gentlemen, and now Bangkok Bros. So all those.
I need to add that in the description.
Bangkok Bros.
Illegal Mindset is my favorite.
Illegal Mindset is going to be where I put all my dating. That's where the episode with Tugs is. I'm going to have a pimp cast coming up with Drex. I'm probably going to put that there as well. So that's going to be
that will be good.
That's going to transition like Dylan Mulvaney over to Illegal Mindset. So that's going to be.
So you're going to only go so far and then stop.
Just the boobs? Just the boobs.
Just the boobs. Just the boobs.
Wow, just the boobs. Okay.
Wait, did he get top surgery? Did I miss that?
I think he had the hormones are
hormones. I think
the hormones made his breasts. I don't think he had top surgery, to be honest.
No, and that never mind. That's a whole different discussion. But.
Yeah, whole separate one. Top surgery.
Whole. Well, anyways, Frank Hool, member for 12 months, says, thank you for being on the stream. Andrew, yes, many thanks. He's been really fun. Tugs, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, because I'm going to be out of town until Monday. So
boo.
Listen, last weekend was Duke's birthday. His birthday was yesterday, so we went out to the Grand Canyon. This weekend is his sister's bridal shower in Washington, and then Monday, maybe if I'm not dead to the world, I'll stream Monday.
Sounds good. For me, let's see. I have a feature show coming up on Monday with Zia Anderson. We're going to be watching Doctor Who. My first time. She loves Doctor Who. So we're starting with season 1, watching 2 episodes per week. So if you are also on the local side, I will be doing a reaction of the 2 episodes prior to. So if you want to watch that, you have to be a supporter. And yeah.
Are you starting from like old Who?
No, we're doing new Who season 1 because I was actually wanted to find all
9. You're
old
starting
Who.
with 9. I love 9. You're gonna
But
love
it's
9.
too hard to find all of them in one set.
Yes. Yeah, it's bad. Old Who is very hard to find, but so season 1 of New Who that's Christopher Eccleston, so that's 9. You're gonna love 9. 9 is my favorite.
I hope so. So I'm excited to watch that with Zia. So anyways, cheers. Anything else you want to plug, Andrew?
No, that's it. I'm glad to be on with y'all. Like, yeah, no, sorry, 4 channels isn't enough. Let me get a 5th here.
Bangkok Bros, watch it.
Bangkok Bros, go check that out. We're gonna redoing we're kind of figuring out our format, so we're changing our format. We are gonna have a lot of guests in the studio. People coming out. We have that coming. There may or may not be girls at some point. So we'll see. So it's going to be very, very interesting. May become the whatever of Asia. I'm just saying. It's.
Hey, if you can, I would love to see what girls think over there. That would be very interesting.
It's definitely something we're working on. We're working on getting through. So yeah.
Mr. Red Pill of Asia over here. I don't know. Or middle pill? Are we middle pill?
Jade pill.
Jade pill?
Jade pill. Yeah, we gotta
green
be
pill.
down with. Yeah.
What's a green pill?
The purple pill?
Oh, because of Jade? Oh, okay.
Jade, like in Jade. Yeah.
I'm getting it now.
Yeah. And when I was in Korea, it could be the kimchi pill, but whatever.
Ew, it just sounds so gross, though.
Oh no, kimchi's delicious. I would do.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, it's delicious to eat, but if it just sits on the countertop, it smells disgusting.
You don't leave it on the countertop. I mean, you eat it or you put it away. You store it.
It's the same thing with jackfruit, and it still stinks, but it tastes good.
True. Wait, how do you feel about durian?
I like it, but I don't like to smell it.
Okay,
I don't like to smell it.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
I get it. It infects everything. So, anyways, Asians have gross food. Love it.
Or delicious food. Food.
They're gross to smell. Have you had balut yet?
No, baby ducks. What's wrong with you?
Balut.
God.
I've had a lot of things, and balut is not happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
No,
I wouldn't either.
The century egg is also not happening either. So those.
What is the other one? Faux gras. That's French mostly, but no.
That's the stuffed duck.
Faux gras I've had. Faux gras.
I know, but
liver.
the poor animals.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Humans do it too, I guess.
Oh, that's valid. It's like eating gorlock.
Yeah, it's eating gorlock. It's eating a gorlock of ducks. You're eating the gorlock of ducks.
Anyways, chat, this has been fun. I love you guys. Thank you, Andrew. Love you. And Tugs, love you too. And I will see you guys later. Bye.